V on.
Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs. Hey, Schoen, you at home right now? Get back in there. I will kick your
It's your guy.
What you gotta say to the camera?
Yes, sir. You play the Giants.
Knowing is all you want to. We built for this shit. We don't fold, motherfucker. We don't fucking fold.
Son, I gotta do that in this.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your guy who is never lying. Sometimes defiant, T.P. Way the Giant. Thank you for tuning in and rocking with the NYG Lieutenant segment. As you could see, of course, as I promised, we have some familiar faces. And I decided I'm going to start this thing off nice and friendly. I'm going to give everybody the proper respect, give my flowers out. I doubt that they've had an introduction as good as I'm about to give these gentlemen, because when you're in the state that we are in, I just don't know how this conversation is going to go. I just don't know. All right, I know some of the opinions up here and stuff like that, and I know it's all around, but that was the purpose of it, because I want everybody kind of to be represented in the opinions that they have. But we're gonna get to it like we know how to do it, man. So without further ado, I just want to take this time and one by one introduce everybody on this panel. I wish I had some, Chicago Bull, Michael Jordan theme music, but we just gonna rock with it. I'm gonna start by my original lieutenant, man, somebody who's been rocking with me for some time. If y'all have been paying attention to this page in the off season, then you know this gentleman is part of the 330 crew. He lets it be known he is at the games. He is a season ticket holder. If I had to give him any award, it would be comeback player of the year. Comeback player of the year, because I think he's been having a phenomenal year. I think he's been applying pressure. He covers all New York sports. And if you are new to this face, let me just give you a quick little preview on who I am about to mention.
We know where it's trending, so get ready to hear that. Okay, we just got to face it now. We're 2-6 going nowhere. Halloween is this week, and our season is over. It's over. As far as I'm concerned, it's about the young players playing now. The season's over, man. We're not going nowhere. The Washington Commanders, they're having a really good year. They got their young quarterback, and they're riding high, man. The Eagles are starting to find it. They're starting to get their ish together. Sooner or later, the Cowboys are going to win some games. Where does that leave the Giants this year in this division? We're cooked.
Ladies and gentlemen, born for sports. Jorge, how you feeling, man?
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? I'm feeling all right, man. Giants ain't going to bring my blood pressure up today, so I guess I'm going to take that as a dub, man. Oh, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I just want to say I'm real pleased to be on this panel with all you guys. It's listen, all love, all respect. I follow everybody here, and I'm just happy to be here, man. Let's get into it, bro.
Yes, sir, man. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of it. And next, we have a New York Giant legend, I would say, man. This is a super fan who you are probably familiar with already. He is somebody who has you laughing on all platforms. I'm talking about TikTok, Instagram, all YouTube, you name it. Sneaky G Podcast is a podcast that I go to and I vent. I get all my frustrations out, and me and a few other gentlemen, we just hash it out there. If you are not subscribed to this gentleman here, you must subscribe. You must subscribe, because I don't want you to miss out on the dope content. Also, I do want to mention Who is doing it like this right here, ladies and gentlemen? Who is doing it like this?
Yes,
this
sir.
right here is my Make It Count coin. Now, let me explain to y'all. In order to get this, you pay a small fee of $25 or more. And what's going on is we have Sneaky G, who is around Thanksgiving time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
he is
this coming Saturday. Yes,
this coming Saturday. So let's make moves now. If you get with Sneaky G, he is doing a grocery giveaway where he's paying for groceries, and he's saying on this coin right here, make it count.
Make it count.
So if you get this stamp, as far as if you're a Giant soldier, man, look, I understand we not doing what we need to do on the field, but look, let's make it count at least, man. So definitely get with him so that we can do that. But I also want to just give y'all an understanding on who this gentleman is. Sneaky G, damn, I can't even find your video, man. But we gonna get it going anyway. We gonna pop it up anyway. But yes, definitely make it count. And next, I do want to take this time to say that this is personally, I can't speak for everybody else, but this is personally one of my favorite New York Giant content creators. I played football back in the day, and I had a coach who used to tell me, you know, anytime you went out on the field, that you should not be thinking, you should know. He says you should know that you know that you know. This gentleman, he knows New York Giant football, and it is the one and only.
Sir. Huh? What? Sir? Repeat that. So for me, that's Brian Dable punting and conceding. We know all about punting. That's all we can do is punt on offense. That's what we do. If it involves kicking the ball, the New York Giants are right up there. Field goals, punting, we are right there. I like Brian Dable. It might not sound like it, but I like Brian Dable. But guess what? I like the New York Giants more than I like Brian Dable. I like the New York Giants more than I like Joe Schoen. I like the New York Giants more than I like Daniel Jones. I can't do anything about John Mara because he's the owner. He might not be the brightest, but he's the owner, and you can't do anything with him. Joe Schoen, Brian Dable, Daniel Jones, you can do something with them. You know what you can do with them? The best thing that the New York Giants are known for right now, and that's punting them. You can punt Joe Schoen, you can punt Brian Dable, and you can punt Daniel Jones.
Big Dash, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, I forgot about that rant, man. I was seeing red that day. I was seeing red that day. Wow.
Oh man.
I rarely go back and watch my videos. I didn't know I went that crazy. I didn't realize that.
I don't go back and watch my shows. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, man. That is just one of the gems. That is just one of the gems.
That is out there. I can't take that one back. That is out there.
Hey, no, let it breathe. Let it breathe. Let it breathe.
But Sneaky G, you ain't let off the hook, ladies and gentlemen. Sneaky G.
So first off, I just want to let everybody know, those that don't know, I live in Dallas. And I love it here. And I just want to thank everyone in Dallas that I work with, interact with, for their hospitality today. I want to thank everybody for checking on me and just giving me visits, even those few people that I haven't seen in years. Thank you for stopping by and giving me your love.
Go fuck yourself.
That was after the Dallas Giants game, and everybody was coming to my office and just saying, "Hey, you good? You good?"
Yeah, man. And last And certainly not least, this is, let's say, a Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. This is, some of you may know him as the 60-minute man. and if you don't know, he is good for business. Ladies and gentlemen, I must introduce to you the one, the only.
Listen to some of these content creators. Y'all take in what these geeks say as if you trust it. Would you get in a dark alley with some of these fuckers? Huh? I'm talking, you're looking across the alley. It's dark as hell outside, and you see some bad mamma jammas right across that alley. I'm talking some real, legit killers. You walking in an alley side by side with some of these geeks? Look at them. Don't tell me not to judge a book by its cover. I'm judging it. Look at, I swear to God. Yeah, I'm talking about the big man. I'm walking out of that alley. I promise you I'm walking out of that alley. Some of these other geeks, there's no fucking way. There's no way. No way. And some of y'all get your sporting opinions from these turds. Your sporting opinion.
Hey, I will walk in an alley with the Copizzle anytime. May I say something? May I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Sneak.
I want to give Copizzle his flowers because this guy right here. Now, I've been doing Giant content for some time now, and you, Copizzle, you never criticized. You never. I'm talking about me. You've always given me advice anytime I've asked for it, and doing this, I've always been told. I do too much. I'm trying to be above the Giants. I'm making it a competition. No, and I'm not trying to make it a competition. But you've always been real, and I just want to thank you for that. And you've never said anything of those whatever to me. So I just want to thank you for that.
You got it. And I appreciate you boys letting me join you today.
Oh man, thank you. Like always, man.
Now of course, we're saying all this before we talk about Daniel Jones, but
let me just say something real quick. For those, I don't know if you guys are aware, but y'all should have seen Copizzle in them TTC days, man. Oh man, bro. I was tuned in. I was locked in, bro.
We had some good times back then.
Oh,
that was when we were good too.
Yeah, back when we were good, man. It was a fun time. And one thing I always count on every week, I gotta go see what Copizzle got going on today. What's going on this week? So yeah, legend, man.
Oh, real quick,
I appreciate it.
We actually have the Juke who is with us, man.
Yes, sir.
Listen, he is doing what every man should know very well, and that's working hard. But he didn't want to, miss the stream, so I appreciate him for that. But he is also someone that is doing some good work out here. He is the youngest in charge, man. I personally call him the young phenom, man. He has been on it this year. He has been consistent. And one thing about him, man, is you can't juke out the real. You cannot juke out the real. So when you go to visit his page, expect the real. And I also want to introduce
Daniel. Throw the ball, please. Daniel, throw the ball. Oh my God. What more do we need to see, y'all? What more do we need to see? The Giants season has been over, but it is officially over. There's no chance, right? There's no chance that we're still talking about making the playoffs. There's no chance we're still talking about going on a run. All that needs to be tossed out of the window. The Giants lost to the Carolina Panthers in Germany.
The Juke. How you feeling, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, listen, I want to shout out everyone that's in this panel right now. I appreciate every single one of y'all. I'm glad y'all tapped in. Like I said, I am on my lunch break at work, but I couldn't miss this, y'all. We got Copizzle, Big Dash, Born for Sports, Sneaky G-Man in the cut, man. Obviously, my guy TP. I definitely had to tap in, and I'm excited to talk about some topics with y'all, man, because as you know, the season definitely feels like it's over, but I know we got some topics that we might not see eye to eye on, so I'm ready to go ahead and talk about those things, man.
All right, well, without further ado, man, let's just go ahead and get straight into it. Listen, Joe Schoen, he has spoke. I guess you would call it speaking, but he is, going through his press conference, and he, I guess, said without saying a lot. Real quick, I just want to get y'all opinions on what y'all took from his press conference. Me personally, I think this was something that you just had to read in between the lines. I think he said a lot without actually saying a lot, me personally. But I just want to open the floor to what y'all have in mind of what y'all got from what he has said.
Sure, I'll go first. I think in the presser, man, he was singing for a supper. I think he knows that he's in a tight spot right now. You saw when he practiced, whatever he practiced for, the answers, he was quick to answer those. But when it was some of those hard questions and curveballs, you saw him dance a little bit. So, and then also, I would say this is the first time I saw Joe Schoen actually try to separate himself from Brian Dable. I don't know if anybody else caught that or not. When he was talking about, why they were losing, he talked about the roster. He also said something about the game plan for the week.
Yo,
that's what the coaches does, the game plan for the week. So I thought that was kind of, telling. But that's my
and Dash, let's not forget that he also mentioned how we're not finishing games.
Oh yeah.
He mentioned that a couple times. He did mention how we were 1-5, 3 points or less this season. And the last show I did on Tuesday, I make it count. We talked about that a little bit as well, because even in our 2022 season when we made it the playoffs, I think we were 5-1. And it was the flip side.
Yeah.
It was the flip side. So it sucks knowing that we're so close into finishing, but we just can't for whatever reason. And sadly, we're beating ourselves.
Yep.
So what you're saying is we're not 60-minute men.
No, we're not 60-minute men. No, not at all. Maybe 58, not 59, but 58 minutes.
Oh man.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, look, I personally, right? I don't like being bullshitted. And I just feel like that's pretty much all it was. Like, I think for Hard Knocks, we definitely know that, he spoke with his PR trainer and all of that stuff before speaking to us. And we knew that he was going to come out there, duck and dodge and all of that. But when you're losing games, and again, when you're having a season that we're having, I just would have rather for him to come out there and just tell it like it is, man. It would just at least say something real. I think that it was just a complete just dodgeball session. And it irritates me when I get that from the guys up top, man, because I need some answers. We're 2-8 again. Y'all in the offseason, y'all said that it would be a different product that's on the field, and y'all keep trying to feed us bullshit answers like y'all are insulting our intelligence. So right now, everyone can get it. That's just my move, man. Everyone can get it, and no one is left off the hook.
I hear you, man. Listen. The way I took it as I wasn't expecting much anyway. I mean, what GM or president really comes out on a bye-week presser and tells all their plans they're going to do after the season? Honestly, this is what the New York Giants do anyway. Gettleman did it. Reese did it. They all do it. I didn't take it as I wasn't expecting much.
I want to see some tears. That's what I wanted to see. You ain't had to tell me your game plan. I want to see some passion. Something.
I mean, us fans, we want that, T. We do. We all want that. I'm not saying I ain't want to see it. I would love to have saw that. I would love, but you know what? I would love for any GM around the NFL to do that, but they just don't do it. They just don't. So personally, me, my expectations like, I already know he ain't gonna say nothing. He's gonna give status quo. He'll throw a little thing. The only thing that I took from that I even listened to was, like Dash was saying, he kind of was singing for a supper. He wanted to make sure everyone knew that the last draft class has been so productive. That's what I took. That was the first time I took him as he was defensive since he's been here, because he's been comfortable since he's been here. Wow. In the first couple of years, coming off last year, you know what I'm saying? Everything. So Me personally, like I said, I wasn't expecting much, but I didn't take anything like, oh man, you know what? How dare he not tell us nothing? Because all these GMs do the same crap. They do the same crap, bro. And is it fair to fans? No, it's not. We want more. You know me. I want to hear something. I need some answers, but my expectations just wasn't there for it, man. I just didn't.
Let me ask everybody a question though. One of the things that Shane kept talking about was evaluating players. Okay, evaluating players. You get, let's just say you get the players for training camp. You get them, you have them during the season, and now the first 8 games. What more do you need to evaluate?
There you go.
Exactly.
I'm telling
That's
you,
my
man.
only question. And my thing is with Shane. Now, I'm a Shane fan. I'm gonna be honest. I like the way he drafts.
I do too.
I like the way he. I think it's a good thing we got rid of what's his name. I refuse to say his name. Well, actually, he didn't want to be a part of us. He wanted to leave. That lying son of. I'm sorry. I'm still a little hurt. But I think, we had to move on to address some of the needs on this team. Now, of course, I'm saying that repeatedly to make myself feel better about the whole situation, but reality is reality, right? We didn't re-sign him for whatever reason, and now we got to turn the page. I don't know about y'all, but it did kind of piss me off a little bit when the Philly fans were saying, thank you, Giants. No, it's thank you, Saquon. He didn't want to be a Giant.
He didn't want to be here. He didn't.
We offered him the second highest contract of a running back, and he turned us down.
Yo, I noticed that is a conversation again. Like every time Saquon, has a good game, you bring up Saquon, right? Yo, what I cannot mean this in any more way, shape, or form. There is nothing Saquon can do to make me give a fuck anymore. I just don't.
Right.
Yo, I don't
talk about it.
Yo, I promise you, I just don't get the crying shit sometimes. To me, I read Twitter comments and shit, in voices. And to me, anytime I hear something about Saquon, I hear, "Oh my God, why did we get rid of him?" That's all I hear. I don't care about that. What are we gonna do moving forward? That's what I care about.
T, and I totally agree with you. Because let's be honest, Giant fans be funny. Because if we would have been losing with Saquon on this team, what would have been the talk?
Yeah.
Why did Shane give him that money? What was the point?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't sign a running back to that money. Oh, you can't give a 28-year-old running back a 4-year contract, making him that pay. So it's like we were losing with him, we losing without him. So what is it, Rick? Which is it with these fans? Which is it? You know what I'm saying? Is it? Oh, Shane is at fault because he let a 28-year-old running back walk, or is it? I'm just so done with this conversation. Tyrone Tracy has done a good job as his replacement, and that's where my mindset is at. Now, if we didn't have anybody doing anything, then I would have been like, damn, we didn't even replace him. Tyrone Tracy is having good numbers as a rookie, okay? Learning week by week, getting better. The fumbles are irritating me. That's the only shit. The fumbles, they got to go. But other than that, he's been doing a good job for this team and showing promise. So right there, I'm done with Saquon. I don't even care what he do. I just and like I said many times, we had been on this show already. TP, listen, he could have went anywhere. He He wanted to go to. For me, you go to Philly. You go to Washington.
You made your decision.
You the op. I'm done with you.
That's how I'm telling you. That's where I'm at with it. Go ahead, Juke. I hear you, but that's where I'm at with it. You made your decision. All right, what we gonna do about it?
And I think, speaking on it, because we were originally talking about Shane, right? And I know Saquon came up in conversation. Listen, Saquon's going to be on the Eagles for the next 2 years. We're going to hear it all year the next 2 years, as long as he's making plays, right? Until he gets, hurt or whatever. My only gripe when it comes to Shane, specifically with the Saquon, situation, is that he flipped the script and signed Devin Singletary, which at the time I thought it was a nice move, and he gave him guaranteed money, which is not bottom of the barrel money. He's not on a vet minimum. He's on guaranteed contract, just for him to get beat out by our 5th round rookie in Tyrone Tracy. To me, that just screams like, all right, the move that you wanted to go in, that didn't work out for any type of reason. Of course, you know, in Giants fashion, this guy didn't miss any games outside of playing on the Giants, and he comes here, he misses a couple of games, and that's how it ended up happening. But I just feel like it's counterintuitive to go ahead and say, hey, Saquon, we're not giving you any money. Or we're not. Well, the offer was there. Let me say it. The offer was there. But my point being is Singletary got guaranteed money, and he's not even getting snaps like that anymore. So we touch on Shane and we touch on his other draft picks. His first draft round, man, I mean, Evan Neal being a bust, that's something he's gonna have to live with. We look at Josh Azudu, that's something he's definitely gonna have to live with.
I think. I'm holding out hope for Evan Neal still. I'm still.
Nah,
hey, I tell you what, I'm gonna give him. Now, don't give me. Look, it pissed me off when he talked about what he said, flipping hot dogs.
Yeah, hot dogs.
You don't flip hot dogs. You don't flip anyway. But his last performance against Carolina, he showed the potential. And I mean, in the NFL, that's all you got. And he was gifted. He was gifted what, 11 picks in his first draft?
Yeah.
Or was it more than 11?
No, it was 11.
Yeah. And last year
traded up and lost some picks.
Yeah, and last year we only had 6 total. So
yeah, and look what he did with them 6, man. Them 6 is grained out to be one of the worst drafts we've seen in a little while, man. Especially and we could talk about it, right? The Giants organization right now, there's a lot of bad things going on. The way they're mismanaging Deonte Banks, I think, is a big mistake right now, because this is a guy you traded up for in the first round, and will he be a CB1? Probably not. You know, there's a great chance he doesn't. But when you're not playing your players,
let's also keep in mind. Hold on, let's also keep in mind. Yeah. Let me say this right here. So when Banks was drafted, who was the defensive coordinator?
Wink Martindale.
Stinkendale.
So that was Wink's guy. Wink wanted him. Now, maybe Banks ain't that type of corner that plays in this new coordinator's. I forgot his name. Oh my God.
Bowen.
Bowen. Yes. You know, in this system, maybe he's not that guy to be in this system.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned that this is one of the poor draft class this year.
No, he's talking about 2020.
No, last year.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
this
good.
year. No.
Let me do something real quick, because we're gonna transition into a topic, and I just want to set this up just right. All right, so we have the top row, and then we have that bottom row there, and I don't want anybody to pay too much attention to it. There's a reason on why I'm doing this.
I think I know the reason too, but all right, go off.
There's a reason on why I'm doing this. Don't worry too much about it. But all I do want y'all, I want to just make this clear. I want y'all to not shy away from your truth, speak your mind, you know, and we're gonna get to the bottom of this thing, or at least the bottom as much as we can, to agree to disagree. Is that fair?
That's fair.
All good with me, baby.
All right, so let's do it. Daniel Jones. There's so many different opinions about our QB1 as of right now. I think this week has been the question that has been brought up is, are we a QB away? Now, let me just start by saying this.
That's what it is.
Let me just start by saying this. You Giants fans have pissed me completely off with this type of shit. If y'all watch us week in and week out and think that we are a QB away, then I need y'all to go get your eyes checked, and I need y'all to start making sure that every single day or every hour y'all are tuned in to some Giants content, because you are just completely misinformed. Now, I know also, you know, the conversation is, well, what exactly does it mean, right? What does it mean for us to be away? Well, let's say this. Let's just keep it simple. Do y'all think that we are a quarterback away from being a team that is competitive with anybody in the NFC East? Me? Hell no. And I'm gonna start and end it right there. And then as soon as somebody shakes the tree, we gonna really get into it. Sneaky G, how about you? Do you think that we are a quarterback away from competing in this division?
Look, we need help on our DBs.
Talk about it.
We need more consistent play with linebackers. Now, don't get me wrong, Block is doing the damn thing. I think we could get a little more consistent. And I think someone touched on it earlier. Running backs, turnovers, fumbles. Okay. Wide receivers. We're leading the league in drop passes.
God damn, that sounds like a Daniel Jones problem. If you ask
me. And I've made this comment a bunch of times. Look, I'm a Jones guy.
Hold on, Sneaker. We're gonna get into it. Trust me. I just want everybody to answer. I want everybody to get the feel of what's going on with the brains of us right now. Pizzle, what do you think?
I think everybody knows where I stand. I mean, I'm pretty. It's pretty clear how I feel about the whole situation. To be honest with you, I'm at the stage where I would actually like to see Daniel go somewhere else and go be successful, because I know he can be successful. That's where I'm at with it, because, you know, the reality is, you know, Saquon Barkley right now is looking great in Philadelphia. You know, Xavier McKinney is looking fantastic in Green Bay. I saw Evan Ingram making plays today in Jacksonville, although they got killed today. But nevertheless, there's plenty of players that are Sterling. I thought Sterling Shepard's career was completely over. All of a sudden, he's in Tampa now catching TD passes. So, you know, to me, there's something wrong. There's something inherently wrong with the New York Giants right now. I don't think it's all about quarterback play. Now, this past week was a fantastic week for anybody that doubts Daniel Jones, because they got some good clips of, you know, some missed things that he did in Carolina, as if no National Football League player is allowed to have a bad game or anything like that. He's actually had relatively a lot of good games this year, but unfortunately the Giants just haven't had a lot of success in winning. And so, he did have a really bad game in Germany. He did miss some throws. There were some guys open, and you can play it over and over and over, but let's not pretend like, you know, that it's a quarterback away. You know who thought they were a quarterback away? The New York Jets. New York Jets thought they were a quarterback away, so they went and got Aaron Rodgers. Now all of a sudden they look like a damn bunch of fools out there. You know, I mean, so, you know, we can sit here and be the Jets if you guys want to be, but the reality is there's something wrong with this team. Before we move on, I wanted to go back to Shane real fast. I didn't get to make a point there, and I want to make a point. You know, this is a very challenging year for him, because obviously the offseason stuff was aired on Hard Knocks. There was no other general manager that had his stuff blasted out there like he did, right? And I kind of pity with him a little bit. I feel sorry for him, because he did everything in his power to get Saquon Barkley on this team. You know, in 2022, on the bye week, he offered him a huge fat contract. Saquon said no. They went into that offseason. He fought Saquon over and over and over. Saquon wouldn't agree to a deal. And then all of a sudden they go into the next offseason, and he wants to go to Philly. So I will say this: the running back room for the Giants is actually a great example of the issues that this team kind of has in a lot of ways, and the fact that they couldn't get the deal done with Saquon, so talent went out the room. They go and get what I think is a bad free agent in Singletary. They go and they draft Eric Gray, who looks like on college tape is a poor man's version of Saquon, but he hasn't developed from coaching. Yep. And then they actually, believe it or not, got lucky as hell with Tracy, because I think they really drafted Tracy to be a kick returner, and the son of a bitch is a damn good running back. So who showed zero flashes of being a good running back in college. So they got completely lucky. So the reality is that, you could sit here and blame Daniel Jones all you want to, but the general manager hasn't done a very good job. the coaching hasn't done a very good job of developing players. Evan Neal looked really good coming out of college. He's been terrible. He has. I mean, he's regressed. Where has Wan'Dale Robinson got any better since the day he got here? What the hell happened to Jalen Hyatt? What the hell happened to him? And this isn't just on the offensive side of the ball. You just the Juke just brought up Deontay Banks. Why is he regressing? That has nothing to do with Daniel Jones. Why is he regressing? What happened to Bobby O all of a sudden? He was a machine last year at linebacker. You don't even hear that man's name. There are players on this team that are regressing week in, week out that have nothing to do with the quarterback position.
Hold on. I need a fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher, please. I need a fire extinguisher right now.
I'm just saying, like, I understand that the topic that Giant fans and most notably content creators love talking about Daniel Jones because he's been here for 6 years. He this and that, which, by the way, he has not really been here 6 years. Okay, there were some of those years that he was hurt. Okay, missing near last year. He missed the whole damn season, damn near. Okay, so you can talk about year 6. You can talk, but he's missed a lot of time during that moment. All right, he has, and that's the reality. So let's don't act like he's had 6 full seasons. Okay, let's don't pretend and play that. Let's use context when evaluating Daniel Jones. Okay, Sneaky. I recognize he had a bad game.
I know. I see Dash getting ready.
I understand he had a bad game last game. I got it. I get it. But there's some games that we wouldn't even been in these games if it wasn't for Daniel Jones.
Well, you know what? And it's funny you bring that up, Pizzle, because look, even with his mishaps, even with Jones's mishaps, we were still in competition against the Panthers.
Let it be known.
How many interceptions does our defense have this year? Does anybody have that number?
One.
That's what we're over halfway, and our defense creates no turnovers, nothing. So we get no field position.
So I think Pizzle, I think you cooked them just well. Okay. We're gonna burn them up. Don't trust me. We're gonna well done this thing, but I want to give them the chance to go ahead. And
but TP, here's the thing. I don't really want to honestly fight about Daniel Jones. I really don't. I mean, like I said, when I open this thing up, I'm ready for Daniel to move on. Not because I don't think he can do it, because I want him to go be successful somewhere else to prove the point. I honestly do, because I think he can be successful. I think he can be a good quarterback. I think people's evaluation of NFL quarterbacks are silly at times. I really do, because some guys are in great situations and they benefit from those great situations, and they're called great quarterbacks. Some guys are in bad situations and look like bad quarterbacks, and they get told that they're bad quarterbacks, and they're really not. You know, Baker Mayfield's a great example of that. You know, people have moved on from him left and right. He finds a good situation in Tampa, and all of a sudden he's a playoff quarterback all of a sudden again. So you can go on and on. Matthew Stafford, they weren't winning a lot of games in Detroit. He's with the Rams. He's winning a Super Bowl all of a sudden. So you can go on and on and on about how the quarterback play is in the National Football League.
See, that's my thing, though. This is not per se for me just a DJ conversation. I just get, me personally, and I'm speaking for myself, I get bothered when we act like it is DJ's fault while we're 2-8. I get bothered when we act like we are a quarterback away. I get bothered when we have these conversations, because I think that we are going with the trickery. But go ahead, bottom row. Go ahead.
Well, before we move on, I just want to say this: when people talk
let him go. Let him go.
I just want to say the last thing. Let him go. The thing about quarterback evaluation, I just want to throw this out there. Remember, Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round. I digress.
Okay, so first of all, it was loaded, and you set people up because you brought up the Daniel Jones question, and then all of a sudden the floodgates opened up on Joe Schoen and Brian Dable, and we got off track. The question was, do we believe that we're a quarterback away from competing in the division? Right. And to me, I think we proved in some of these games, that Philly game, that first half, Dallas first half, Washington in those games, that those games were close at the beginning. And how did we lose them? And we don't want to judge by seasons and say it's not a full 6 seasons. Well, let's do it by regimes then. And as far as the regimes go, the last 3 regimes or two regimes and 3 coaches, there's been one common denominator. And every time we get pacified by some good play, what does he do? He lets us down. And that's Daniel Jones.
There you go.
We talk about these games, right? We talk about these games this year. His best games this year were games that we lost. The games where he was. I'm saying that his best games.
What about the other games? That's the point.
We lose the games when he's bad, and we lose the games when he's good.
So if we get to the point of the game, and I know we brought up Washington. If you get up to the point of the game where you can win that thing and put it away, and you put it in your receiver's hands, your number 1 receiver at that. We're talking about the receiver that everyone claims that DJ should find a way to get him the ball. DJ should make these throws. If he does that, and our number 1 receiver drops the ball that can put away the game, I'm just confused.
So what do you mean by that, though?
But you're singling out one game, bro.
That's not one game. That's one example.
No.
That's one example.
You okay? But your example now you drifted into the receiver now. So, like the question was, is Daniel Jones the problem, and also are we a quarterback away? And it's a team game. There's no doubt about it. I don't think anyone here on this panel is going to say everything is Daniel Jones' fault here. We're not doing that. We're not. But the quarterback position is the most important position. And me personally, I've given this man a lot of years to show me. And we talked many times early in the season. I left the door open for him. I said, sink or swim. Did I not? I said, sink or swim. It's all on the line. I hope he does it. He's got the weapons. He's got the offensive line. Those excuses are gone now. Okay? So now it's, what else is the fault?
But it's not about hate. It's not about hate. It's about heartbreak. It's about heartbreak. Every time you give Daniel Jones your confidence,
I understand that.
Every time you give Daniel Jones your confidence, what happens to you? We look like the fools, right?
He shows us who he is.
We're the people with egg on our face when we start to trust Daniel Jones. We get our hopes up. We see it in every game. We get how many we talk about how many times guys drop the pass, how many times, and we talk about this defense too. How many times did the defense give the offense back the ball? We talk about we're not getting interceptions. That Cincinnati game, the Philadelphia game was 7 straight punts. 7 straight punts. What do we do with it? Nothing. And that's the offense. And it's not all Daniel Jones, because I hate Brian Dable right now too, and I damn sure hate Joe Schoen, but we ain't gonna sit here like the common denominator is not staring at our face. And guess what? He's so much of the common denominator that even his own coach and his GM have now thrown him under the bus. He's the scapegoat for everybody now. Because you know why he can even be the scapegoat? Because he's playing that bad. You can't be a scapegoat if you put the proof out there on the field that you can win with him.
I don't see that. See, this is the thing. People will try to make it seem like he's playing worse than what he is. Now, granted, let me make these points. I don't think that we should keep Daniel Jones. That's for one. For two, I don't think that he is the answer for us to get better. But the main point, again, what I'm trying to say is he is not the reason on why we're 2-8, and the light is being shined on Daniel Jones when the light needs to be shined everywhere. I think that he is the scapegoat, and I think that is the problem. I think that everybody is just focusing on Daniel Jones, that you're not seeing everything else. I've said this plenty of times. Malik Neighbors can't be touched. And I even had this conversation with Washington fans. Like the Jaden Daniels, like there was a content creator that I was listening to the other day where he's just like, yo, I understand that we love Jaden Daniels and he's our new, QB1 and things like that, but he still deserves criticism. And I'm listening to that like, damn, that's exactly how I feel about Neighbors. Like, how many times are y'all gonna let him do things that's gonna hurt this team?
Who let him slide, though?
But who
let Neighbors slide?
Us for one.
Nah, we just point at the bigger problem, because you can't sit here and tell me like right now, would you rather have Jones or Neighbors? Who's better for the future, Jones or Neighbors?
Of course, Neighbors.
It's simple. Right. It's simple. But there's always a simple. There's always a simple answer. Like right now, if I ask you a question right now, what is your faith that Daniel Jones could take you on a game-winning drive? What's your faith from 0 to 100%?
With this team?
with this. Well, yeah,
Well,
with the team.
Zero. How do I have? Why, they ain't giving me no reason to give him faith. We
So-
drop balls and shit. We fumble the balls at the end of the game. Well, I mean, yeah. Why would I have faith?
But what about the bad passes though?
What about
Yeah,
the
that
errant
happens.
throws?
Oh,
what about not beating the coverages? What about that?
It's way,
We
it-
cannot
all right,
ignore
that's
that
the
no
thing.
more,
It's
guys.
Hey,
way
that's
more
the
bad
thing.
passes and
I
drops.
just watched the Steelers and the Ravens.
It's
And
way
Lamar
more
was
bad
making
passes
bad
and
passes. Lamar makes bad passes damn near every week.
Lamar's an
all the time.
MVP. Don't do that.
Exactly.
That's the
exactly.
Don't do that.
Exactly. And that's my
Let me
point.
tell you something. Lamar Jackson makes more plays to win games that you don't even notice when he makes a bad play. Don't do that.
That's the thing.
Come on.
These-
now.
you-
Come
when
on.
you
I'm
always
sorry, Dash. Let me just read this, Dash. I need to
got
read this, bro. I
You
gotta
got
get
it.
this out. Okay, since we're in this thing, we just trying to like put all the blame on everything else. It's a team game. Everyone gets blamed, especially the quarterback position because they're the quarterback. And that doesn't mean I'm saying that the quarterback is the main reason. But let me read some stats. 6 games, 0 touchdown passes in 6 games,
I
bro.
don't give a damn about no stats.
No. You gotta give a damn, bro.
Eye test.
You gotta give a damn. The name of the
General.
game is
I go by
scoring,
the eye
baby.
test. I know what I see.
We
Stats
gotta
can be
score
misleading.
points.
Stats can
and
be
we don't
misleading all
score.
over the place.
We got the hold on.
Man, when Daniel Jones is leading the
TP.
QBR, you know what y'all say? That shit don't matter.
No, that's not what I say. That's not what I say. Don't judge me as the others, bro. Don't judge me as the others.
You know,
Okay?
and like I said, everything can be explained simply, right?
Come on now.
Everything can be explained simply. When a player is good, we don't argue about it.
No.
There's no running the PFF, getting grades and getting rankings. When like Patrick Mahomes can have a terrible season, but nobody's going to say Patrick Mahomes isn't good. We only defend players that aren't good.
I disagree.
And when Daniel
win,
Jones plays
if we
well,
win,
I'm always
people
the
don't
one to
complain.
say he played well today. He
That's
won,
not
he
true
helped
either
us
because
win
people
this game.
complained after
I'm
2020.
not
We won
blind
in
to none of it.
2022, and people
I'm not
complained
blind to
then.
none of it, dog.
If I could chime in real quick and just touch on the original question I had, which pretty much it was.
Yeah, because I don't even think everybody has.
Are we a quarterback away? It's hard to say, of course, but I'm more than welcome to rolling the chances on getting another quarterback and seeing if it is. Because obviously the real question is that quarterback going to be the quarterback? Like Copizzle said, the Jets were hoping on getting a quarterback. They get Aaron Rodgers, and that's the wrong one. Hey, they picked the wrong one.
They picked the wrong one.
But
Exactly.
I am more than happy rolling out rookie quarterback. Let it be whoever it is. Obviously, hopefully it's the right one. But what are we gonna do? Like, what's the worst that can happen? Lose the same way we're losing right now? That's the biggest thing. Like, we're losing with Daniel Jones anyways. I'm more than willing to go ahead and move on, get another quarterback, and try to see if that will ignite a fire in this team because you see it, man. I touch on it throughout the season, man. And I'm not going to say we're going to get the next Jaden Daniels. I'm not going to say we're going to be the next Commanders. But hell yeah, it's upsetting to see the Commanders playing the way they are because guess what? It kind of reminds me how we felt the first year under Joe Shane.
Do y'all think the Commanders are better because they just got a new quarterback?
The biggest reason.
No, that's
why
the biggest. The
Commanders be with it right now.
Checkmate. I got him. That's not my biggest reason.
No, ain't no checkmate.
No,
There's no checkmate. No.
Year in and year out, the
I'm
Commanders
not, and I'm not even saying he's the reason.
Different quarterbacks.
No, I mean,
completely different quarterbacks.
again,
year in
we
and
like
year out.
y'all get too deep. Take Jaden Daniels off that team. Who did they have last year? Sam Howell. Do they do the same thing with Sam Howell with that same roster? Absolutely not. Who's making
get on the coach? Get on the coach.
Who beat the Giants in that Commander game? How many times did Jaden Daniels break a tackle? How many times did he break a tackle and get a first down and keep the drive alive? That was him. He single-handedly beat the New York Giants. We missed the field goal at the end of the day.
We lost that game. I think we lost that game more than
we lost. We lost both. They swept us for the first time.
How many
since
got shut out in that first half? I believe in MetLife because I was there. We got shut out in that game.
Which game? The first or the second one? The first Washington or the second
game?
Okay.
And again, it's a different argument because
it is.
You try, like I said, a lot of the points you guys are making, I can't even fight them because I feel the same way about when it comes to Brian Dable, when it comes to this defense, there's a lot of blame to be going around here. But the original question was, how do we feel about, do we think that we're a quarterback away from competing in the division, not winning the Super Bowl, competing in the division? I think a different quarterback beats the Commanders, beats Dallas, and definitely puts up a better chance against the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, 7 straight punts. We gave that offense. We gave the offense 4 chances before Philadelphia even put a point on the board. Seven
Yeah,
straight.
we ain't losing.
Seven
We
straight
ain't losing
punts.
no Panthers.
We
ain't
can't
losing no
score in the
Panthers
first
either.
half.
My
Pizzle,
answer
go ahead.
is we are the
Pizzle, go
right
ahead.
quarterback away.
I see you. I
And
see you biting your tongue up there.
one more
man.
thing too, though, because we keep talking about these Commanders, right? That game against the Commanders. What how many yards did we have in that first half, the entire half?
I just said that. We were shut out in the first half.
Listen, but okay, so listen, this is why I love that that's a perfect example. And this is why I just believe in that stats can be so misleading. Because in that first quarter, we know for a fact that the offense was super duper reserved. They were running screens and running the ball. That was all they was doing. But no one likes to mention the fact that Daniel Jones had 50 yards rushing on the ground. No one brings that up. And then in that second half, he turned that thing up. And it was not Daniel Jones' fault on why we lost either one of those Washington games. And I could go on. It's not his fault why we lost that Dallas game. Those right there are 3 wins.
Wait a minute. It's not his fault we lost the Dallas game? Are you kidding me?
Right now?
Bro, we kicked field goals the whole game. Short circuit and drop. Now, I will say this.
Robinson dropped a pass.
Hold on.
Now that I think about it, I'm not going to say it was all Jones's fault. We lost the game, but he was a part of it. He was a part of it.
He's always going to be a part of it. I agree with that.
Goals. And I told you, TP, I was mad at Dable that day because he didn't go for it on 4th and goal at the 2. I was pissed off that day.
You know what I'm saying? We should have started this conversation with Dable, because again, nobody's going to win this argument because we keep going to what the rest of the team is. It's a team sport, but the most important play on the field is the quarterback. If you can't score points, and then we got the nerve to talk about this defense when in all of these games, what did the defense do? Give you a damn chance, so they couldn't anymore.
Exactly. On the field.
How much fight?
Come on now.
To be honest with you, I still don't even know your answers. Go again? What is your answers?
My answer is I think we're the right quarterback away from competing in the division. Yes, I feel that way. I feel that way because these games have not been blowouts. They haven't been I think the worst game we played was against the Eagles. That was the worst game we played. Let's be honest. It was a terrible day that day. I was there. But to me, you look at the defense, and I said this before the season, TP, and you my witness. I said they have the best pass rush in the division, okay? And what do? They lead the league in sacks. The run defense is garbage. That's a problem. That's a problem, okay? Big problem that I have with Bowen. But nevertheless, like Dash says, the defense keeps us in a lot of these games, man. Let's be honest, bro. Look, before that Eagle game, they hadn't given up more than 19 points a game. And what was our record? Because why? We can't score.
Sneaky Pizzle, please. Come on,
man. And that's what I want to say. Look, the fact that they didn't score, our opponents didn't score more than 19 points. We couldn't score more than 15.
There you go.
We couldn't get but when we talk about defense, we're arguing about defense. And I don't know why I keep reminiscing that CeeDee Lamb play with Banks. I keep going back to that play. The lack of effort.
Yep.
On that play.
Yep.
And that was in the first quarter.
And I'm gonna say, Shane did a good job defending his guy. But let's not be remiss. The following game, Banks got taken out for lack of effort.
Come on,
as he should. As he should.
So there's so much more. Like there's so much more to it. Like, and this is why I like to steer away from stats, because how many touchdowns got taken away because of penalties? Speaking of penalties, how many pre-snap penalties have we dealt with? Like, come on, man. There's so many factors that stats are not.
Let me
overcome that though. Just saying.
Well, let me. I want to go back to the Commanders real fast because, see, this is the disconnect that people have that are either pro Daniel Jones or against Daniel Jones. Because when you brought up the case of, well, is Jaden Daniels the reason why Washington is good now? And these guys said yes, and they're partially correct, but they're partially wrong in the fact that Washington was number one in the whole league of roster turnover in the offseason. They completely flipped their roster. Dan Quinn regardless of what happened in that Super Bowl, he's a Super Bowl head coach. He's taking a team to the Super Bowl. He is also probably one of the reasons why Dallas now is faltering and is no good anymore, because once he left that organization, they have went to pieces now all of a sudden, right? So I think Dan Quinn is a huge part of why the Commanders are good now. I think their roster is part of it. And yeah, Jaden Daniels is making plays. But the thing about pro sports is, you know, all right, they're going to see if you can hit the fastball. Then once they see you can hit that, they start throwing you curveballs. You're starting to see regression now from C.J. Stroud. Everybody said, "Oh, C.J. Stroud's this hot thing in the offseason. Oh, their Texans are going to be super." You don't hear a damn word about C.J. Stroud now. All of a sudden, nobody even talks about the Texans being legitimate Super Bowl contenders. Now all of a sudden, Jaden Daniels is the hot piece of meat. Well, once they put some once the defense coordinators start putting a plan in place to throwing him curveballs, all that's going to start shutting down. The reality is this organization, this franchise, has given Daniel Jones, Pat Shurmur, Joe Judge, and a bunch of garbage to go with it. Okay, he had no choice but to fail. That's reality. And Dash, he's saying you're questioning Dable. We're all questioning Dable. Like I think Dable has no business calling plays. He's too damn emotional to be calling plays. He's on the sideline losing his mind. How can I trust you to give me the right play call on 3rd and 1 when you're over there losing your mind left and right? Why is Kafka even a part of this organization or team? Why is he not calling plays? I don't understand this. This is why I go back to the fact of, you can talk to me about Daniels. He has all the skill sets. He can run. He can throw. He can make all the throws. You can't say he can't. He absolutely can. Okay. I don't think the guys around him. I don't trust the people around him. I really don't. I don't trust his coaching staff. I don't trust these guys. Nothing. I mean, that's the truth about all this. So to me, I question on, look, again, if they move on from Jones, then so be it. By the way, I think clearly Dable has shown he benched Banks as like he didn't. He said we benched him. Dable would gladly bench Daniel Jones if he didn't think he was the best option. He would do it in a heartbeat. Why has he not done that yet?
Our quarterback room is not good. Drew Lock stinks. We know it.
Shane's fault. There's a lot of blame to go around.
What do you mean it's Joe Shane's fault?
He's the one that he's the one that told everybody that he was happy with the quarterback room the way that it was. He was satisfied with Drew Lock.
Okay, then that tells me, Dash, that the tape doesn't clearly that tells me that the tape is not clearly showing that Daniel Jones is at fault.
As far as
I have watched Daniel Jones.
I don't know about that one.
As far as what? Dude,
well, I mean, why would they not put in Drew Lock? Why would they not put Drew Lock?
Oh, we know Drew stinks, bro. We know that.
Like, so here's the thing. When I'll say this about the situation, we treat Daniel Jones like he's Eli Manning. The whole time Eli Manning was here, we never drafted somebody that could really push him, you know, or picked up somebody that could really push him, you know, for a starting spot. Never happened. We gave that same grace to Daniel Jones. You pick up. Why didn't you go for Gardner Minshew? Gardner Minshew actually would have pushed Daniel Jones. Tyrod Taylor coming back probably would have pushed Daniel Jones. In fact, if we would have had Tyrod Taylor, you probably would have saw him already by now.
Tyrod would have won the job already.
The whole point is that we coddled Daniel Jones. We were pacified by the 2022 season. Let's be honest. I was fooled by the 2022 season. I drank the Kool-Aid. Guess what? I had to fall on my face in 2023. And we talk about he was injured. You know, he only missed half the season. We don't give that same grace to Evan Neal. Evan Neal was hurt all of his second season and all that. But we already know that Evan Neal sucks for the most part. My bad, Sneaky G, but I'm just saying, we don't need more proof than what we've seen from Evan Neal to know that he's bad. But for Daniel Jones, it's like, okay, well, everybody told me, fix the offensive line, get him a wide receiver one. And what's going to happen? We got
Andrew Thomas is hurt.
In the fix end.
Andrew Thomas is hurt.
Okay, but this O-line hasn't been bad.
And then I mean, the best player on the offense has been hurt. The best player on the offense was hurt during the Cincy game.
And everybody's been playing like ass. I mean, Andrew
Thomas is the best player on this offense.
So this is how we shift things into like a checkmate, right?
No, I'm not. No, this ain't no checkmate. That's just reality. Andrew Thomas is the best player on the offense.
Okay,
we know this.
And when did Andrew Thomas go down?
He went down. He played the Cincy game hurt, and he hasn't played since.
So the Cincy game was week what? Daniel Jones's best performance was without
Cincinnati
Andrew
was
Thomas.
October 13th.
But that's not. We're talking about totality here. We're talking about totality here. We're talking about games that he hasn't because Andrew Thomas got hurt week 1 also of last season.
Okay.
And Daniel Jones struggled all the way up until the point that he got hurt. You know, the offense. Let's don't sit here and pretend like he's had perfect offensive line play. He's had better offensive line play this season, absolutely, yes. But he has not had just perfect offensive line play.
Why does he need to be perfect?
It doesn't need. I'm not saying it needs to be perfect. I'm just saying let's don't pretend like it has been perfect.
No, it's not perfect. But why do we even bring that up?
But why do we act like we haven't seen an improvement? That's what my argument lies.
Improvement in what?
Daniel Jones's game.
What?
Where?
He can't.
Okay.
It's the same, bro.
See that's the perfect example. Is when Daniel Jones is bad at spots, people put out this narrative like Daniel Jones is the worst thing walking when he's not.
If we're talking about spots, we're talking about Dalmatian. It's a lot of spots.
Okay, so listen. All right, so where's the spots in the Washington game, in the Cleveland game, in the Seattle game, in the Dallas games when he's putting you in a position to do something, but his supporting cast is not doing what they need to do. So my question to that is, when Daniel Jones is actually playing good, then there has to be a responsibility or accountability for somebody else other than him.
When Daniel Jones is playing good, he's playing good for Daniel Jones' standards.
He's playing good. Man, he was leading the lead. At one point, he was leading the lead in top 10 in a few categories. So we can't say that. And passing at one point in the lead, passing yards, QBR,
passing yards.
Yes,
my man hasn't even touched 300 yards all season. When has he done that?
I said at one point of the season. Also, why we act like Daniel Jones is not one of the best rushing quarterbacks in all of the league? If you have that, you should coach a scheme based around that.
I'm pretty sure, bro, that Brian Dable was not brought here to have Daniel Jones lead the league in rushing. He brought him here to become an elite franchise quarterback because when Josh Allen was in Buffalo with him, he helped him become what he is. So let's be honest, that was the whole point of Dable being hired here. The whole thing was to see, okay, let's see if he can unlock Daniel Jones. Well, his first year, in his first year in 2022, which is a season that I appreciate, in the second half, he was better. And like Dash said, hey, he had games that kind of fooled us and made us drink the Kool-Aid. Like, maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. But you know what? It has not happened. There was only one common denominator. And like Cop said, and he's absolutely right, the Giants haven't helped him either in his career as well. They've given him bad coaching staffs. They've given him no protection and less weapons. I get that. I
want to know the difference between 2022 and this year is they played in 2022. They was balling.
Repeat that again.
His supporting cast helped them in 2022. They was balling in 2022. That was the difference.
Hold on, wait a minute. Every coach that we brought in here has ended up being bad, but every coach that we brought up here had some success before they got here.
Exactly.
So but they're not having success now.
But I understand that. So, like, listen, I hated Jason Garrett, but we can't act like he wasn't running that damn Dallas offense then.
The worst coach they brought in was Joe Judge.
Pat Sherman, when Pat Sherman was in Denver, we can't act like he wasn't successful as an offensive coordinator. Now making that switch,
and Minnesota
head coach is totally exactly. And then we talk about Brian Dable. When we got Brian Dable was the hottest offensive coordinator coming out. Everybody was on the same page, talk about yes, and then look what happened.
That doesn't mean he's going to be a great coach, head coach.
But he also got coach of the year.
I understand that. I understand that. Let me ask you this.
Nobody doubted the way he was coaching. And then all of a sudden now.
Let me ask you this, Dash, and maybe this is a useless question, but let me ask you this. So let's go back to the draft real fast, right? Let's take
the horrible draft or the draft that's okay.
No, this past draft.
Okay.
Would you rather have? We lose out on Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jane Daniels. So that would have
I already know where you're going. The answer is yes. It was a quarterback that I liked more than all of
Bo
them.
Nix.
No. The best thrower of the ball is in Atlanta, sitting behind Kirk Cousins.
Okay. So Penix. So let's say you would rather have. So that means we would have never got Neighbors, and we would have got Penix. You think Penix without a Neighbors, the Giants would be more successful right now?
I think we would have something to look forward to. Because I don't know what we do in that second round. Because when I look at A.D. Mitchell, with the Colts, second round wide receiver, when I look at all these other receivers that were available in the second round, and I look at Neighbors, and again, we're the same people that just talk about all the drops from Neighbors. He dropped this, he dropped that. If I got Michael Penix, I feel 10 times better than I do right now. Because guess what? Now I'm not in a position of looking at college football, looking for another quarterback, which we are in right now. Because again, Michael Penix will be here. We most likely would see him this week, and then we would have a good idea of what we got. But instead, we're sitting here in the same boat. Go ahead.
No, we would still be sucking ass. We still have receivers who can't catch the ball. Yeah. Our run defense still couldn't stop a statue. We would still have Deontay Banks at CB1 who can't guard a statue. We would still have Cordell Flott, Trey Hawkins at CB2 and Nick McLeod. Anytime he's on the field, you should know that you have the worst secondary in all of NFL. Anytime Nick McLeod is on the field, that's
how bad McLeod is.
But can we? Okay, so now we want to talk about the roster, but we saw even worse wide receiver room in 2022 be fine, though, right?
Yes, and that's what I'm telling you. You know the difference was everybody was playing.
Nobody dropped passes. There wasn't any illegal man down. It was plenty of drops. I remember. Don't you remember? You remember
won
Daniel
the
Jones?
Super Bowl with leading the league in drops last year, by the way, fellas. And I'm not comparing Mahomes and Jones, but Patrick Mahomes won the Super Bowl last year with his team leading the league in drops. So let's stop exaggerating the whole drop pass.
I'm gonna take one of Big Dash's lines. You can't compare teams because when you do that, the lines get blurry. Okay,
you can't compare.
Hey,
I'm only comparing quarterbacks.
You can't compare quarterbacks. You can't compare quarterbacks.
Hey, I gotta
quarterbacks.
I gotta sign off on here, man. I appreciate y'all. I want to just touch on like my last little tidbit, man. Like Pizzle said, with the young quarterback, they kind of throw curveballs at a quarterback. And year 2 is kind of where you see the difference. I think 2022 was exactly that. First year with Dayball in that system, the quick passes were there. The short passes worked with that offense, and they adjusted. You saw in the Eagles game, we got squashed. And hey, the videos are out there, man. I was happy with Daniel Jones. We got that contract done, and I thought, hey, the brighter future is ahead because we got our guy. And at this point, who would have thought 2 seasons later? Now we're here talking about, is he gonna be the guy or not? I want y'all to talk on it, man. Do y'all think Daniel Jones is going to be benched this upcoming week? I know we talk about what we think, but what is the offense, the front office going to do? And do they think he's going to start him? I appreciate everyone that's in here, man, and hopefully I can get you guys on another time. It sucks that I work, but overall, man, shout out to the Giants, man, and hopefully we go up, man. I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate
you. Right,
hey, man, have a good one.
All right, man. Peace.
I would love to answer his question or what he just said.
Yo,
There's a part of me that really does believe, and maybe I'm crazy, this is probably going to get clipped, but if Daniel Jones doesn't get benched this week, I think there's a chance that Daniel Jones can still be the quarterback next season. I do believe that that's a possibility. Now, that doesn't mean that they won't bring somebody in to push him like Dash is talking about, but I really do believe that this regime it wants to move forward with Daniel Jones. I don't think that, to me, they may have privately thrown him under the bus, but if they would have already moved on from Daniel, he would already be benched. They would have already told Drew Lock he's going to be the starter right out of the gate. I really don't think it's as clear cut as a lot of people, fans, content creators have making it that, they're just going to go straight fix the quarterback in the offseason. I'm Cam Ward, Shedeur, saying, like, I'm not for sure that that's where their head's at right now. I really don't believe that. I mean, they're talking about, Joe Shane's in Colorado. He's scouting. He ain't scouting Travis Hunter. Like, it ain't possible he's scouting him. So to me, the Giants have so many questionable issues on this team outside of quarterback. Now, wherever they will end up drafting will dictate what position they draft. But to me, I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Daniel Jones is just completely done here with the Giants.
I'll say this time tomorrow we'll know if he's being benched or not. They got to let us know about tomorrow.
But you agree with me, Dash, that if they're really truthfully done with him, they would bench him.
I'll say this. We all saw the clip of the flea flicker, right? And everybody paid attention to Wandale Robinson's reaction, running off the field. Did anybody pay attention to Brian Dable's reaction?
Yes. But that's a stupid ass play, Dash.
Yeah, it's a super play, but it's
a stupid ass play. It's also when you're going for 2 against Washington, it's a stupid ass play too.
And trust me, when Brian Dable becomes a subject, I'm gonna lean in crazy because I got a whole bunch. Brian Dable is not my favorite person right now. I will say that, but I'll also say this: when he decided that when that half-ass bench that he did. What was it, the Philadelphia game? When we saw Drew Lock, which game was that? When we saw Drew Lock?
Yes, Philly.
Yeah, it was Philly, right? And he said, I wanted to see if we can get a spark, right? Had Drew Lock actually gotten there for that little bit of time and moved the ball, it would have been a different type of discussion going into that following week. Now we got the whole bye week, and I'm trying to figure out why last week Joe Schoen is at the podium talking about we had practice today. Why are you practicing on your bye week? Teams don't normally do that. And what are you practicing for? What are you prepping for? So to me, it seems like something's going to be announced. I'm assuming they're trying to get somebody ready to come in and replace Daniel Jones. And then I saw the Diana Rossini article talking about the teams. They're not sure whether or not they want to move on. What did you see in that practice? Did you see that Drew Lock is as trash as you thought he was? And now we can't even throw him in either. And that's me pointing the finger at Joe Schoen because you decided to bring Drew Lock in here, and now we don't have a better option because of you. Joe Schoen, but we can get into Joe Schoen and Brian Dable in the next section of the discussion. But I'm just saying,
let's talk about it because I'm with you. I think they deserve some smoke too. Absolutely. They deserve, and that's pretty much my whole thing.
They get the most smoke. They get the most smoke because guess what? To me, Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones. You can't tell me that Daniel Jones is not trying his best. To me, his best just isn't good enough. My problem is you continue to throw him out there. I got a problem with you now. Because it's not just about Daniel Jones, it's about the decisions that you made that led up to this situation. And we're in this situation because of Brian Dable and Joe Schoen. And Brian Dable right now looks like a dummy because he doesn't know how to manage the game. He doesn't clock management, adjustments. You never see it happening. Like you said, Copizzle going for 2 when you don't need to go for 2. The flea flicker, I threw my hat at the flea flicker. Before I knew or realized it was people running open downfield, and before I realized that Daniel Jones saw the person and decided not to throw it. But that was a dumb play. 3rd and 2, and you do a flea flicker. 3rd and 1, and you do a flea flicker. No, not when Tracy's running the ball like that. Absolutely not. So yeah,
I've been saying this for some time now. When we're 1-7 or 2-8 or whatever the case may be. Why are we doing gimmick plays?
That's the whole point. I'm Stinky. That is exactly what I'm saying. That doesn't even it has nothing to do with quarterback play. It has to me. It's like why we're not even good enough to even be trying any of that shit. Like for us to be even doing that, and I understand certain situations calls for a play like that, but Tracy was running the ball good against Carolina. Why it just doesn't make sense. This is why I say I don't think Dable should be calling the plays because I think he's too emotional on the sidelines in certain situations.
And Pizzle, it's not only the gimmick plays. We can't even do RPOs properly without getting a penalty. We go from like 2nd to 5, right? And then we get a legal man downfield, and now we're 2nd and 12, 2nd and 8, or 2nd and 7.
And I want people to understand, man, when you have those pre-snap penalties, that's a coaching error. Like your team is not coached up enough to where they're disciplined and they're preventing themselves from having these penalties over and over and over again. And I just don't see the development of players. That's also a coaching error.
Can I say something negative about Daniel Jones? And I usually don't speak negative about Daniel, but I'll say something negative about Daniel. I think Daniel is a type of person and a type of player that doesn't like to go off script. I think he's a person that goes for word by word what the script says, what the situation calls for. I think if he's a person that says you be here at 7:55, he's there at 7:55, right? I think he does everything by the book. I don't think he is an off the script type of player, right? When stuff breaks down, that's not where Daniel Jones is going. Now, he has the ability with his wheels to make stuff happen and make escapes, but I don't think Daniel wants to live in that world. I think Daniel wants to live in a world where it goes as, cut and dry, A to B. I think that's what he wants. And so when you have his last two coaches, in Judge and Dable, who were very emotional type coaches, I think that can be a little much for some people, right? Yeah. Shermer, for example, and I'm not advocating that we should have kept Shermer as head coach, but he was more of an even keel, low keel, not really going to get upset type of guy. I think that was kind of the dynamic that Daniel Jones could have been successful with. More of a type of a person that wasn't so emotional, so aggressive. And I don't think Dable's style goes with who Daniel Jones is as a player, truth be told.
My only push against that is Dable has not changed since 2022. The only thing that changed is that we won games in 2022. Dable has been just as fiery as he was.
We loved it when we were winning.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with that, but I do still think that Coach Dable had more of he had the nickname the Balls type thing.
Oh yeah, he definitely lost that too.
I think that's the major. I think if anything changed throughout those years was that. But I agree
with you on that. TP.
And I want to also just react to what he said about Daniel Jones, his critique of Daniel Jones, and I think he's spot on when it comes to Daniel Jones. Is playing above the X's and O's is not Daniel Jones's game. I also think that the best game for Daniel Jones is a quick game. The less thinking that man has to do, the better he plays.
One read.
And I don't know why Dable waits to go up tempo. Because as soon as we go in up tempo, what happens? We go right down the field. We saw it in the fourth quarter last week when everybody under the sun said that Jalen Hyatt sucked. I saw that man on one drive do more than 9 routes. He was doing comebacks and all that. And guess what? He was getting the ball. He was blocking. But all of us. So I got big problems with Dable.
But that's
go ahead.
I'm sorry, Dash. But that's the point I'm trying to make is you have a player that wants to play a certain style. Surround your offense to that style. Baltimore does what they do with Lamar, right? They play to the style that Lamar wants to play at. He wants to, he wants to kind of have that run. Now, look, I think Lamar Jackson is a pure quarterback. I've really enjoyed watching him this season, particularly than any other season, but he runs the ball sometimes like a running back. They played to his style. I think Dable is so hard-headed to try to make Jones into how he wants him to be instead of how Jones needs to be or how Jones wants to be. I think there's a clash there between those two.
But we got to admit though that Jones is limited though. That's what I'm saying. Like Lamar Jackson plays above the X's and O's. That's something that Daniel Jones can't do. Now understand you do want. I think what we saw in 2022 was Brian Dable coaching the offense to fit Daniel Jones. Once he wanted to open it up a little bit, and we found out that he once you give him a little bit more to do, he's not good at that. But so do you? It's almost like the situation with the Chiefs. They were winning with Alex. What was his name? The guy
Alex
from Stanford.
Smith.
They were winning with Alex Smith, but even though they were winning with Alex Smith, they felt like you know what, this ain't the guy that can take us to the next level, and that's Andy Reid making that type of decision. And then he got Patrick Mahomes, and the rest is history. So I think it's the same situation.
Once they adjusted to what Dable was bringing with Daniel Jones in that 2022 season, it was supposed to be okay. You gave this, you fixed it. Now we gotta counter that. So I need Jones to play a certain way because now what we're doing, DJ, is not working anymore because they're onto us. So I need you to be a little different now. I need you to read the defenses better. I need you to let that thing go. I need you to anticipate more. Throw anticipation throws. You know what? The NFL, wide open, doesn't happen a lot. Sometimes you got to throw him open or you got to throw the ball where he's going to be open. DJ, to me, has never been that guy. He's like, he's like Cop said, he's on script all the time. So if he sees something right away that's not there, he's not going to throw it there. But
this is my
if he lets the play develop, sometimes
how do you know for sure that Dable wants it done a certain way? I'm not saying that Dable doesn't want him to complete a pass that's open. What I'm saying is that Dable is so strict in how he wants his offense to be run that if Jones does do something different, that he's going to get some backlash from him. This is what I really think there's a disconnect between coach and quarterback.
You might be right.
Hold on, but this is the thing. This is the thing. Hold on. Hold on. Because I was about to say something after you.
Oh, okay. My bad. Go ahead.
To piggyback what you were saying, but this is where coaching to me comes into play. I think that yes, he's limited. I think we could agree to that, right? But I still think you could coach limited. I don't think that 2-8 is illustrates limited. I still think that you have to put Daniel Jones in positions in each week to in your best position to win games. There are some games like
but you know what that's called dumbing it down though. That's dumbing it down.
If that's what you have, then so what?
But that's what we did. That means we see it all the time. Yeah, but what?
I'm not even talking about something better. I'm talking about what you have this year. We can't change that. We have Daniel Jones this year, so let's go with what we have this year. Don't get it twisted. I think there's better out there. I'm not saying that Daniel Jones is the guy. I think that, for example, and we'll talk about it, but I think like Shedeur brings a whole nother element to the offense. But I'm talking about as far as coaching it, your job is to put the best product out the field of what you have. Now, you know Daniel Jones is limited. You know Daniel Jones, he may lack certain abilities. But that doesn't give you an excuse to put out a horrible offense out there on the field.
So my pushback on that is the old stuff used to work. But when the old stuff don't work anymore, and then also the new stuff is not working because your quarterback can't do it, then you're stuck between the rock and the hard place. If you look at every defense that we've played this season, they play us the same way. They wait pre-snap, they bring people up. As soon as Daniel Jones snaps the ball, everybody goes back, and all of a sudden he doesn't know what to do with the ball. That's what happened
because we've been getting out coached like a motherfucker.
And also, that's his point.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Dash.
No, you good.
Dash's point. What were we excited about when we were doing all these shows during training camp and everything? What were we excited about? Oh, they're opening it up. They got these receivers. They're going deep. DJ's looking good in practice. They're going deep to Neighbors. They're going deep to Hyatt. They're going deep to Slayton, Wandell, all of that. Then all of a sudden the game start down. We can't get that done.
Did we not see that though? Did we not see that?
The quarterback is limited. How many times?
No. Let's stay there where you at.
Hold on, brother. How many times this season, and I don't have the stat in front of me. I'm sure somebody can find it. How many times have we gone deep, and how many times have we connected on the deep ball this year? The same style that David was trying to implement in training camp and said we want to do. He was going to the press every day talking about we want to push the ball downfield. Our weapons got speed. We want to push the ball down the field. He was telling y'all what his plan was. Exactly. And what happened? We can't do it now. We can't do it. Somebody get me that stat. How many deep passes have we connected about
this year? I don't care about no stat. I'll go by the eye test.
I go by what I see.
I go by what I see, and that's where people get tripped up. It's because stats will mislead you down to a hole that makes no sense and no answer to this team. Like I know for a fact,
you keep going back to the eye test, man.
Yeah. You gotta look at what
the hell are your eyes seeing? What are you seeing?
I see. Okay,
that nobody else is seeing.
Great question. Now I ain't gonna say nobody. Because we all seen that
we can all see drop pass. We can see drop passes. We can see the fumbles. We can see the defense giving it up. But what are you seeing with Daniel Jones that nobody else is seeing?
Okay,
I see it in person and I hear it on the telecast.
See, this is how I know. He don't even want me to get to it. I'm about to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
I also seen in Cleveland that he had how many touchdowns in the air where nobody said that he could do it. I also seen in Seattle that he had how many touchdowns? I also see one. Let me eat. I also see in a rushing game that he's one of the best rushing quarterbacks in this league. I see somebody who puts 5 fingers in a dude's face mask because he's going to get that first down. I see that penalties are preventing him from getting certain touchdowns. So when y'all go to the stats and y'all talk about, oh, he hasn't thrown this many touchdowns, but why are you not factoring the ones that where it's an illegal pick on Darius Slayton, which is a horrible call, or when it's a face mask on the whole other team and it's pulled back? Like these instances, that's why I'm like, yo, we're too good to be going by stats all the time.
He's
like,
for sure had 2 TDs brought back because of penalties.
That's happening. But no one said that didn't happen, though.
These are the things that
but it's not enough to disregard everything else.
No, he's asking me a question. I'm answering it. No,
I mean, you
listen.
think those
but hold on. But when you gotta play, you get.
I'm sorry, it doesn't. It doesn't. In those games, and you are on point with those things. Because me and you have talked about, I was pissed when those things happened to us. But it doesn't disregard everything else in the other games and during the games that we're like, yo, what's going on? He's had 6 games with no touchdowns, bro. We played 10 games.
But see how you do that?
10 games.
That's my prime example. You see how you go to the stats again?
Yeah, but that's points. That's points.
The name of the game
but why though?
scoring, baby.
But listen, this is my perfect example, and this is how you fall right into the trap. But why haven't we scored touchdowns? You just said it yourself in the Dallas game. Coach Dable did not go for it when we clearly needed to go for it.
Okay, and what about the other what about the other plays that we didn't make when we were kicking all those field goals? That was on Dable too?
Yes.
The unnecessary sacks for not getting rid of the ball, missing open guys, all that throwing in stride.
I will say this. Those are all true, and I don't want to make it seem like those are not things that happen. Those are things. Those are definitely concerns, and those are definitely things that Daniel Jones drops the ball at. And forgive me for not mentioning that.
Me and you talk. We chop it up. And
he
we're
definitely
like, he always
bonehead.
does these kind of bonehead moves once a game, right?
Listen, I completely agree. He definitely does bonehead shit, and I want to make that be known. I understand that, but what I'm just saying is, I still don't think that translates to 2-8. I think that
because it's not all his fault. We understand that
it's not all his fault, though, bro. Oh, but let me let that be known on air. I am not here to say that the Giants are 2-8 only because of Daniel Jones. That is not what I'm saying. And I said it earlier.
But you say that, but then when you say we're a QB away, when you say we're a QB away,
I said we're the right QB away. That's what I said.
I say we're a QB away. I say we're a QB away. Period.
And I'm not saying we're Super Bowl contenders with a different quarterback. But your question was, do you think that this team can compete in this division with a better quarterback? And my answer is yes. Because of the things that I mentioned, the offensive line's better, the receivers are better, okay? The defense has done a good job this year despite being god-awful against the run. They have kept us in games. We're 1-5 in close games, but all those things that's been going on, for every reason that we've lost these games, we have been right there. What Shane said the other day, people don't want to hear it, but it is the truth. It is the truth. 1-5. You flip that at least half of those games, and we win 3 more wins. Hey, with 5 wins, we're right in the middle of it. So it's not like we're getting killed out here every week. Like I said, the only game that we were bad in that I could say we had no shot to win was the Eagle game. Everything else, we've been in these games, bro. But it's those certain plays during the game where something goes wrong, a bad drop, a blown coverage, a punt return, the freaking Steeler game. The whole game changed because we gave up a punt return, okay? Everything. It's always something. However, the quarterback is a big part of it as well. When you're last in the league in scoring, when you're last in the league in red zone offense, and this is not the only year this has been going on, by the way, okay? Okay? Fewest passing touchdowns by a quarterback to start the season's first 10 games, the last 5 seasons. Whatever coaches and GMs have been here, Jones is on that list 4 times. 4 times. So there is a common denominator here. I'm not even mad at DJ. I will always appreciate him for 2022. And like I said before, I am not even mad about it no more. I've expected this. He is who he is. And that's it. He's just not the guy. That doesn't make him a bad guy. And I know there's a contingent of Giant fans out there that I even argue with sometimes that just hate Daniel Jones. If this dude woke up on the wrong side of the board, didn't scratch his ass, they'll say how much he sucks. That's the type of time they on. I'm not here for that. When he does well, I always point it out on every show that I do. But I can't ignore what I see, bro. He just isn't the guy. And until we get the guy, we're gonna be stuck in this cycle that we got. Now we got more moves to make.
But that's why I did. But see, that is it. I think it seems like we agree on this. We agree that he is not the guy.
Mhm.
We agree that in order to elevate, there's better out there for us to get. I think we agree with that.
Correct.
Now, I think where we disagree is that what I'm hearing is if we have a better quarterback, which is I don't know who it is,
Mhm.
that there's going to be the difference in the outcome of the season. I don't agree with that. That is my only issue with the train of thought. I feel like also, and with kind of a dash, what I kind of agree with you with, is I feel like Daniel Jones is getting the smoke that Coach Dable should be getting. That's how I feel. Because I feel like if better coached, if better prepared, if this team was more disciplined, I feel like we're not 2-8. But go ahead, Dash.
See, I think we're beyond that now, because again, this is year 5.5. I'll put it that way, Cop. It's year 5. It's year 5.5, not year 6. Right?
That's better.
An analogy that I'll have is this, because we keep saying, like, again, and we keep going in circles, and we kind of saying the same things. We all agree that it's bigger issues than just Daniel Jones. But I will say this: you have to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. I got issues with Brian Dable. Again, you saw you put the clip together. I said we could punt all 3 of those guys. Shane, Dable, Jones, we could punt all 3 of those guys. But at some point, if that happens, we got to start somewhere. And you figure if we do something like that, then you got to get the GM. That's step 1. You got to get the head coach, and then you got to draft yourself another quarterback. So that's my main deal. So for me, if you're talking about totem poles, I have Daniel Jones at the top of the totem pole for this reason, because I've seen Brian Dable be successful somewhere else with another quarterback. I've seen that. I've never really seen Daniel Jones be successful, outside of Brian Dable. So something has to give there. Joe Schoen is a complete idiot, in my opinion. And we give Joe Schoen credit for this draft class. Hold on, and I'm gonna come right back. We give Joe Schoen credit for this draft class because we ain't been giving him the smoke. But let's really think about it. Newbin is playing why? Because we didn't have McKinney anymore. Tyrone Tracy is playing why? But we don't have Saquon Barkley anymore. Who else? Neighbors is playing why? Well, we just needed a wide receiver. These guys are Theo Johnson. We drafted over Daniel Bellinger. I thought Daniel Bellinger was fine.
Yeah, me too.
So Joe Schoen is sitting here going in circles. He's using draft. I mean, I like him too, but I really think Bellinger gives you the same exact thing. If we're being honest here, we the ones that bench Bellinger. But these guys, we're giving them credit for this year. When who are we going to play anyway? Who was going to play over Newbin? Who was going to play over Phillips? Who was going to play over Theo Johnson? The roster is trash. These guys are playing, and trust me, I love that they're playing well. They're absolutely, because it could be even worse. They could be out there and they could suck.
Yeah.
But they're forced to play in these positions because we don't have the depth.
We don't have anything else.
This guy has been here. How many? 24 draft picks? 24 draft picks this man has had. 24 draft picks, and he's sitting there at the presser talking about the guys from this year. What about the other 17 players?
Mm-hmm. I totally agree.
What about them?
I totally agree with you to your point. I'll just say, I like Shane coming into the season, but I'm not going to ignore the misses, especially in the first year of his draft class. I think this draft class basically saved his ass, to be honest. I'm gonna be honest. It did. Also, I want to say, I think they basically showed you, Shane even kind of alluded to this in that presser, that they kind of changed plans after 2022. 2022, they came into the season thinking, hey, we're going to stink and we're going to find another quarterback and we're going to move on. So we don't have any cap space to spend to get holes. We're going to just get fillers and go with it. Well, we as they say, we outkicked the coverage. We went out there, made the playoffs, and it was a great year, a year that I always love. We made the playoffs. We won a playoff game. But then last year, they said, hey, in 2023 offseason, they said, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and go with these guys. Let's go see. Let's go add to what we have. Maybe we're not as bad as I thought we were. Okay. And it all came crashing down last season. And he kind of alluded that he made that mistake. You know what I'm saying? So I think, in a funny way, to your point, he actually said, you know what, now I'm going to start the rebuild. And I think that's why he's safe. And him and Dable are probably safe unless they don't win another game for the rest of the season. I think they're safe because him and Dev Mara, they already had that established. The man basically said it to us without saying it. As TP said, you got to kind of look in between the lines of what these guys, what he was trying to say. That's what I took from it. I feel like they changed course.
Well, and honestly, I got to say this. I like the fact that John Mara has stepped up and said, I'm going to be more patient than I typically am.
Me too.
Than I was in the past. I mean, look, Reese was there for how long?
Mm-hmm.
And then he went to Gettleman.
Yeah.
And then now, of course, now we have Shane. And I think at some point you have to build some kind of continuity, something.
Yes. Yeah.
And I believe that, you know, look, I'm looking at Shane's draft, the last 3 drafts, okay? And I know we talked about this. Some of the guys, we talked about this. And I mean, we got some heavy hitters. I'm looking on here. Of course, you know, Thibodeau. I don't mind Thibodeau. Bellinger, Flott, Izudu, you know.
Izudu.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Leave him at guard. Maybe he's just a guard. But hey,
I'm okay. I'm okay with Robinson. I like Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
Hyatt. I don't think we fully cashed in on Hyatt yet.
I blame
like what Cap said. Where is he at? What are we doing with
something?
That's Dable's fault.
Something was brought to my attention earlier that I didn't even realize. But someone, the Big Blue Crew, who I was watching the game with earlier, they mentioned why get Hyatt when you have George Pickens still on the draft board.
I'm talking about Wandell.
Yeah. I mean Wandell. My fault, Wandell.
Yeah.
I'll answer that question. When they picked Wandell, Dable had a specific role for Wandell in his offense. That's the only reason why you pick a guy like Wandell, and that's what's hurting us now. Because to me, Wandell is a gadget guy and should only be on the field when you want to do gadget plays. I think that Hyatt's ceiling is way higher than Wandell Robinson.
Yes.
And then we saw when you actually play Hyatt, when you not just for a snap and take him off the field, when you actually get that man going and he's in the flow of the game, you see that he can be productive. And so that's another, I guess, a flop for Joe Schoen, because again, Wandell Robinson is second on the team in receiving. He got 50 catches, right? 50 catches, and he got about 200 yards. So what is that average? What's he averaging? 3 yards a catch? How is that helping us? I saw Hyatt for the first time. He gets 3 catches, 40 yards. You know what I mean? That's the difference. And that goes against Dable. As much as I like to talk about Daniel Jones, that goes against Dable too. That goes against Shane. But I mean, listen, we got big problems. We can all agree to that. We got big problems, big issues with the New York Giants. For me, my point of view is, we got to start somewhere. I'm going with the longest issue, and to me, the longest issue is Daniel Jones. Can I
add to that? Can I add to that, Dash? One of the reasons why I think Daniel Jones is hated so much outside of his play is the fact that he was drafted by Dave Gettleman.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of Dave. I think, which I want to bring a point to that. I'm happy to see, because obviously you're a content creator. And a lot of content creators for the last several months, they just love Joe Schoen, right? Joe Schoen can do no wrong, right? But prior to that, there was so much Dave Gettleman hate, so much. I mean, Dave Gettleman couldn't do nothing right among anybody. Yet I can sit here right now and say that the best players that are on this team are Dave Gettleman guys.
Yeah.
And that's what's frustrating to me, because so many fans and content creators told me that general manager, Dave Gettleman, was straight trash. Joe Schoen, as you said, has drafted, a total of 24 players now? Who knows how many free agents? He's had enough time to fix, quote-unquote, Dave Gettleman's mess, according to all these people. And there are Dave Gettleman guys who have left this team and are being successful. For example, Saquon, Xavier McKinney. When you look at this team, Dexter Lawrence, best player on the team, one of the best players. Dave Gettleman guy. Andrew Thomas, one of the best players on the team. Way better than Evan Neal. and one of the best players on the team. Darius Slayton, you're getting still production out of him.
And people hate Darius Slayton too.
Yeah, and guess what? But you're getting production out of him.
Which I don't understand.
I love and hate. I love and hate. I got a love-hate relationship.
He's a crutch.
I love Darius Slayton,
and I don't feel like Dave got enough credit for the Dexter Lawrence trade. I really don't, looking back on it, because that man is such a beast and is such a great player for us. He got no credit for that.
So, hold on, because the only reason why we got Dexter Lawrence is because he traded OBJ.
Yeah, but that needed to be done. That needed to be. I mean, that needed to happen. Now, would I have liked, OBJ to be able to hang with Daniel? Yeah, that would have been nice. But in the long run, it's been nice having Dexter Lawrence on this team. Oh, Dexter Lawrence has done nothing to hurt this team. No. He has only helped, and I understand it. We ain't been winning a lot with him, but he's helped this team tremendous. But my point being is that you don't ever hear any Joe Schoen hate. You really don't get it. Now, maybe it's starting to come, but Dave Gettleman never was given a true chance, from the jump. And one of the reasons why I think people hate Daniel Jones so much is because where he was drafted and who he was drafted by. And the reality is
and who he replaced.
Yeah, but let's go to that, because I've been on here long enough to know that they were done with Eli for years.
Yeah,
they were done with Eli. Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons why I even joined YouTube many, many years ago was because they were starting to run Eli out of town during that 06 season, started that 07 season. Mm-hmm. So, look, I'm not saying that Daniel. I think Daniel had, you guys, Dash brought up, what do you see with your eyes? I think Daniel can do all the things that fans say he can't do. I think he can throw the deep ball. I think he can extend plays. I don't think he wants to do that, but I think he can. My question though is, what is our identity as a team? Because that's, to me, we have lacked that tremendously. Like, where is Antonio Pierce on this team? Where is Michael Strahan on this team? Like, our leaders, like, for example, and I love Dexter Lawrence, but Dexter Lawrence is not a vocal leader. He's not that. He's not
He's too happy.
Not that guy.
He is, yo.
He's too happy. He's not mean enough.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, Dash. Where is our fucking dogs on this team? Where are the guys that we don't want to see date our daughters, kind of thing? You know what I'm saying? Where is the dudes that, you know what? Yeah, they might be at the club at 2 a.m. on a Friday night and they shouldn't be there. Like, where's the savages on these teams?
We traded the closest thing we had to a vocal leader and dog in Xavier McKinney. He was the closest thing to it. And he wasn't even the best at it, but he was vocal. He was the type that was mean.
But you get what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't had.
I don't see where our identity is. Like, when is the last time we've had a Michael Strahan? Like, I love Kayvon.
Justin Tuck was the last one.
Yeah, but even he was nice. He was a dog, though. He was a dog. But look, my point being is we just don't have anybody on this team that's an enforcer. Saquon's a great player for the Eagles, but he doesn't have to be an enforcer. He can just do his thing. Yeah. He doesn't have to be that.
Pizzle, I might want to push back a little bit, because if we look at Dexter, I can see Dexter being a dog on the squad when he's being double and triple coverage on defensive fronts. I mean, a lot of our DBs are getting sacks because of Dex and the type of respect that he's 100%. So I do believe that Dex is that vocal player in the locker room. I think, and this is just my opinion, I think there's a lot of stuff that's going on in-house within the players that we're not seeing. Absolutely. And you could just see the look on Dec's face when he was asked that question, are you enjoy getting sacks? He's like, well, not when we're losing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But to his point,
I'm not saying that that's not true, Stinky. And you're right. Dex is getting double teamed, in some cases triple teamed. But I don't think Lawrence Taylor would let what's going on right now slide. I don't think Antonio Pierce and Michael Strahan would have let what's going on right now slide. These guys are not look, I was very much a huge Tiki Barber fan, right? I love Tiki. I mean, Tiki was my dude. And one of the issues with Tiki at the end of his career is he talked out against Eli. We remember this, right?
Yep.
Like, who is talking out against Daniel Jones? If Daniel Jones really is the problem, why is somebody not talking out on him? You know, OBJ, even when he was getting ready to leave, right? He went on ESPN and said, "Oh, maybe we got a quarterback problem." You know, where is that guy on this team?
Well,
to stand up and start
The only person that said something but he doesn't have the cachet is Neighbors. Neighbors said it.
Oh no, he did it all wrong. He did it all wrong.
Watch the target tape.
My point, but
that's not how you lead. That's not how you lead.
He's not supposed to do that. He don't got enough cachet to do it. Like Odell was Odell before he said that about Eli Manning. He was Odell, established Odell. But I got a problem with Neighbors doing that too. You can't do it because you don't have the cachet for it. To your point, he dropped balls. He cost us a victory one time. You can't say that.
And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Thibodeau on some podcast?
Yeah,
talking about he didn't understand the fact how Jones got paid and Barkley didn't.
I was just about to say that.
Whole,
I heard Brian Burns. I did hear Brian Burns, but I 100% agree. I think you need that natural born leader, not somebody.
There needs to be
into it.
Yeah, there has to be somebody step up. We went years now. Look, Eli Manning was never going to be that vocal leader. And Daniel Jones, just looking at his demeanor, is not going to be that guy either. You know, just a matter of fact, I'll say this. As somebody who is pro Daniel, I was really hopeful when they were doing the Hard Knocks thing that we would get to see more of Daniel because I wanted to really I wanted to get to know him a little bit better through the clips, but they didn't show shit on him. Nothing.
Nope.
You know, they showed him, barely
working out.
Yeah, they showed him working out, but we never really got to know who Daniel was. So that was one of the things about Hard Knocks that I really hated because I wanted to be able to say, like, okay, I think his personality can get this done. And we didn't get to see that. But he's just not a vocal leader. You know, we don't have anybody on this team, in my opinion, that, like, where is the crazy Jeremy Shockey at? Like, where's it at? Where are those play? Like, our team, our franchise celebrating 100 years, it has a history of certain guys in certain eras being leaders and being, a vocal piece, for these teams. And this team has lacked that for several years now.
I'll tell you what it is. It goes to the drafting. What do we always want to draft? Captains, play guys with all. Yeah. We don't draft guys that are just mean on the field, knocking people's helmets off and nothing like. We don't do that. We look for the captains. Yeah, exactly. Like Schoen. And guess what? And John Mara should know the one person that you couldn't control was your best player. That was a little bit off was your best player. And we look at it like you don't get too many stray hands where somebody is pretty much straight and narrow and also a dog on the field like that. You don't get that most often.
But that's the issue with John Mara, Dash, is that John Mara would not allow a Lawrence Taylor to be on this team.
Now we did. That was his dad that did that. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. John Mara would not allow that to happen. And he's too there's a his demeanor, I didn't personally like the way he came off on Hard Knocks, in my opinion, because, he's very, hands in pockets, the energy he was putting off to me just was very, I don't want to say beta, but there's just not a lot of, that's the one thing I will say I respect about Jerry Jones. I know we hate him because he, Cowboys, whatnot, but like Jerry's at least going to tell you what he feels. And he's going to be blunt about it. And I'm not saying I want Jerry Jones to be our owner or anything, but my point being is just like John, like he just wouldn't let Lawrence Taylor be on this team. And that's what this team needs is not necessarily the skill set of Lawrence. I know that's hard to find, but just somebody that's, that's going to be a very vocal, aggressive alpha type, guy to be on this roster.
I want to segue. I want to segue into this because I think this makes the perfect transition. Do you think that we would be a suitable team to have a Shedeur Sanders? We know that he comes along with a Coach Prime. We know that he comes.
I'll shut down. There is no chance in hell that Prime is going to let him come to the Giants. Nope. And I'm going to tell you this. I know this for a fact. Prime is absolutely. And I hated Deion Sanders as a player. I respected his game. I think he's the second greatest athlete of all time. I respect his game. And I really like Prime. I got the sunglasses. I was looking at some of the shoes, but I don't think my ass can wear his shoes. I don't think I get away with it. But I love Prime. Like I love what he's doing in Colorado. He is absolutely going to do what Archie did with Eli, 1,000%. He is going to demand that Shedeur goes to a certain team, and the Giants are not going to be on that list. It's just not. They're not going to be on that list.
I'll say this because we've heard it, and he's actually been asked that. He's been asked what he was looking for. He did say that he wouldn't do anything out loud. He would do it behind the scenes, try to play, pretty much the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Comes to this situation, but he also said that he was going to do the same thing for Travis Hunter. And you can't sit here and tell me that in 2024, if a team like the New York Giants feel like they want this quarterback, we got the biggest market. This is a flashy city. You're the son of Deion Sanders. You can't get any flashier than that. You can't stop him from coming to New York.
He's not going to allow it, Dash. We have a better chance of getting Travis than we do Shedeur.
I think Cop is right on this one because I can see this becoming an Eli Manning situation where Deion just go ahead and he just says, hey, he's not going to play for you. He's not. You know
exactly where he wants him to go to. We all know.
He wants to go to Vegas.
No. Vegas may be it, but you guys are forgetting somebody else.
Oh, Dallas. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Dallas is going to be down there.
Yeah.
It's absolutely it's happening. This is happening.
There's a good thing that you have not even a consolation. There's another option on the board too with Cam Ward. There's another
That's
option.
what I'm looking at.
Okay, let me speak about this. I don't think Cam Ward's an NFL quarterback. I'm just going to tell you now. And this is what I'm going to tell you. And this is, look, I understand this is when you watch, because Miami's still going to play some big games. I want you to watch Cam. And when he plays, I want you to watch him. And I want you, every time he has a play, it's a passing play, ask yourself, would that shit fly in the NFL? Just ask yourself.
It's a lot of improvisation. Improvisation.
There is. There absolutely is. And some of the things that he does is not going to fly in the NFL. It's not going to happen.
Now, I'll say this about Cam Ward because I've watched Cam Ward since before he even actually got to Washington State. The one thing I would say about Cam Ward is he's gotten better every year he's played.
Me too.
And last year he would have been a 4th rounder, day 3 pick. Last year, if he would have came out, I was actually mad that he actually went back to school because I thought he was going back to Washington State. Found out he was going to Miami. I said Miami is trash. Miami still is trash. He is carrying the Miami Hurricanes on his back because that defense is trash. And I absolutely believe that he can be a player. Because you said a player. You didn't say he could be a franchise quarterback. You said he's not an NFL quarterback. I got to disagree with you. Cam Ward is absolutely a guy that can get it done.
I like that.
NFL.
I can't look. I think he's a fascinating player, but I also think he's benefiting from a weak quarterback class.
Yeah, well, he's at the top. It's him and Shedeur at the top. Now, if you look at everything behind them, absolutely, some guys need to go back to school, and I think they'll be included. Like Nussmeier needs to go back, Allard needs to go back. There's a lot of guys that need to go back, and I wouldn't call it a weak quarterback class. I would call it a regular quarterback class. We got spoiled. We got spoiled last year when there were 6 quarterbacks. But when you compare it to 2023, 2022, and that was an awful class, 2022. No quarterbacks. Well, that's the Kenny Pickett year, but 2021, you go back to all these other years, you don't see as many quarterbacks as we saw come out last year. So I think this class is on par as a regular quarterback class where there's 1 or 2 options, possibly 3, because we don't talk about Milroe much. And Milroe might be another guy.
That's what I wanted to. That's what I kind of wanted to get a gauge of. If we don't get Shedeur, if we don't get Cam, I mean, who would y'all be interested in getting?
I'm getting the best cornerback left. I'm getting the best cornerback left because I'm not drafting anybody else in the first. Like if we're okay, sorry, because as of today we're not 2 anymore. We're picking at like top 5. So you know that you got to start opening up your options. If we don't get one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the first round, you got to go corner. If we're still on top, you're either going to go Travis Hunter, which he won't be there in top 5, or the freaking guy from Michigan. What's the guy from the Johnson, Will Johnson, whatever his name.
Yeah, Will Johnson. Yeah.
But I mean, I personally, you know, we'll see how the rest of the season goes. There's still some very, very winnable games on the schedule. There's could be a lot of losses on the schedule too. Look, I would have. I'm being open and honest about this. It would be a lot of fun to have Deion's boy on our team. There's no question about it. I would do the watch thing all day long. I mean, I would have a lot of fun with it, honestly. So, I mean, because, you know, I will say this, I think there's a lot of Giants fans that would love to have a quarterback that has some swag to him.
Absolutely.
We haven't had a quarterback with any type of swag in never.
I don't think ever.
I don't think ever. I don't think ever that we've ever had a quarterback.
I say since Phil Simms.
Yeah,
when
but
he got in Ronnie Lott's face, I'm like, oh, I'm sold.
But he wasn't wearing jewelry or anything like that.
Yeah.
We're talking about a different type of swag.
Ring on his pinky ring, though. He did wear that, you know.
True.
I mean, my point being is, I think there's a lot of Giant fans that want that. They want the swag thing. But I just don't have any hope whatsoever that Deion's going to allow that to happen. I would love a Travis Hunter because, and I actually think that Travis would be, I think when he gets to the NFL, I think he would have a longer career as a receiver, but I think he would actually be a better cornerback in the National Football League.
I'm absolutely.
I think it's the other way around. I don't think necessarily that Deion wouldn't let us. I think that we would overthink and not want Deion to be a part of the mix, so we'll mess it up and not get him. If anything,
I think we overthink it too. Right now, we're overthinking. I like when I tell you I don't give a damn what Deion Sanders thinks.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
I'm with you guys. I don't care.
That's how I feel.
I don't care.
Yeah, but Dash, you can't draft Shedeur, for example, and then he not sign.
What you mean? He's going to be at pick number. First of all, it's a rookie wage scale for a reason. He will get he's going to get the same amount of money wherever he's drafted if he goes anyway. It's just a rookie wage scale.
I understand that.
To me, if you can sell New York City to Prime, you can sell it to Prime. Because what does he like to do? Everything out, the commercials, the sponsorships, all that, and that stuff is happening right now. You can't do that in any other city but New York. Like,
why would play neighbors? We gave
I'm gonna tell you, but he's gonna want him. He's gonna want him in Dallas, though.
Listen, he can want all he wants.
He's gonna want him in Dallas.
He can want all he wants. And guess what? And then we get to beat up Shedeur.
But who's the better? Honestly, who's the better prospect, Shedeur or Travis Hunter?
To me, it's Shedeur. To me, it's Shedeur.
For
I
us,
like Shedeur too, man.
To me, I love Travis Hunter.
Travis is right there. Though. Let's not.
I don't think there's a wrong answer. But if we all saying that we need that quarterback, I'm telling you,
it's absolutely a wrong answer. What are we talking about here? Like,
no. I'm saying in the sense of because I'm with you. I think we should get Shedeur. I'm saying in the sense of if we don't get Shedeur, I'm not mad at Travis. Like I don't.
No. Now I'll say this though: Travis is generational. Travis is the best player in the draft. That is 100%.
100%.
To me, we draft Travis Hunter. That does not move the needle at all for the New York Giants at all. Well, we might get 2 or 3 more interceptions. You know, a half an interception more a game, but that Travis Hunter, I can't say he won't win us a game. A pick 6 can do us a lot, but no,
a lot more than it's doing now.
But quarterback is the absolute most important position. So if we're sitting there and we got Travis Hunter or Shedeur Sanders sitting there, if we got the option to pick both of those guys,
Shedeur.
I'm taking the quarterback.
Yeah,
I got to take the quarterback.
I got to have Shedeur. I got to have, especially at the end of this, I don't want no more excuses for Coach Davis. I don't care who we get. I don't care who we get.
It's always gonna be complaints. You know that. You know that.
Of course, but you know if we win some games, then hey.
I just need to TP's point. I just need to see. I need him to break the tie. It worked with Josh Allen. We brought him here to fix DJ. It didn't work out long term for whatever reasons it were. I need him to break the tie. I need to see if he can develop that quarterback for our side like he did for Buffalo. If he don't get it done next year with the rookie quarterback and he don't look good, then he got to go. It's just, and Shane will be gone.
I want to say
I
this.
want continuity, like Sneaky said. I want continuity. I'm tired of changing the regime every 2 years, man.
I want to say this because it goes to what Dash said in the video when you started this. If they end the season with only 2 wins, I don't know how the hell you bring back anybody.
You can't.
How do you bring back Dable? How do you bring back Shane? And then how are you going to sell to your next team? Yeah, we have the formula to be successful. Oh wait, we just won 2 games last year.
Yeah. With the same.
So
people.
So to me, like they have to win some games if you want Dable and Shane to stay around.
They have to. That's
well. Okay, it's not just winning the games, but if it shows by the end of the year that Dable still has the locker room, that the players are still playing for him. Because if it shows that in any instance that those players are not playing for Dable, Shane has to make that awkward decision and have that awkward conversation with him.
Hey, real quick, let me just pay some bills while we got the eyes and ears of everybody in the chat, man. I just want to shout you all for being engaged. I see the chat, man. Y'all are definitely lit. I appreciate y'all for being a part of the conversation. If you are not subscribed to TP Way the Giant, you are tripping. All right, you are tripping. Go ahead and subscribe right now, like and comment. If you are not subscribed to Sneaky G-Man, you are tripping. Okay, I am telling you, you missing out on dope New York Giant content, and I don't want that for you. Okay, if you are not subscribed to Copizzle, you are living under a rock. All right, wake up, get up. All right, go ahead, subscribe, like, comment. If you are not subscribed to Born for Sports, especially if you like the Knicks, the Mets, or whoever New York teams, you are tripping. Get it right. Go ahead. All it takes is 2 seconds. Boom. Go subscribe.
That's it. It's free.
It's free. And of course, Big Dash knows. Go subscribe right now. Right now. Go subscribe. Okay. Go subscribe to these gentlemen. I said this before. I'll keep saying it. This is not just a couple guys that I was like, oh, like they're well known. I'll get them on it. Oh, these are guys that I watch. These are guys that I converse with and listen to, and I truly enjoy the content. And it's dope. It's super dope. And as you could tell, so go ahead, man, and do your due diligence. Go ahead. My fault. I just had to.
No, I appreciate the kind words, TP. I want to say one thing. I want to make sure that this gets said. In regards to Daniel Jones, I think Dash has said this about me before. If I'm wrong, Dash, please correct me. But I know others have. Sometimes if you watch my content, you would be confused if I'm a Daniel Jones fan or a Giants fan. There's a little bit of so the other people that make content and the other people that watch the stuff, they're so anti-Jones that I have to be so pro-Jones. You understand? Like that's a little bit of an issue, is that you're so over the top. It's almost like politics. You're either too left or you're too right, So I have to be pro just because I got to support the man. I am a Giants fan that believes in the slogan, once a Giant, always a Giant. Yep. That's the way I believe. So regardless of what happens to Daniel Jones moving forward past this season, he is always going to be a part of the Giants story, good or bad, right? And when you see these other players like Saquon, like there's a lot of Eagle fans that like hate on me or hate, come to my page all the time talking about, thanks for Saquon. We know that story, but like, I don't have no hate in my heart for Saquon. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he did what he felt was best. So do I hate to see him be successful in Philly? Yes. Do I wish he'd get hurt? No. But like, it's cool. It's good for him. Like I root for guys that we brought into this league. And so with Daniel, if he moves on from the Giants, go somewhere else, I'm going to hope that he does well because we're part of that story for him. We're part of his journey. So like, I don't understand why, and I'm not saying anybody in this panel is, roots against Daniel, but there's a lot of Daniel Jones doubters that root against that man week in and week out. And to me, if you're a Giants fan, you're a real Giants fan, you should always respect those that we brought into this league, whether they helped us or hurt us, right? I didn't like Evan Ingram. Like he always frustrated me because he'd do really good in training camp and then he'd fail during the season. But I still wish him well. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I just want to make point clear. It's like, I'm not a Daniel. I support Daniel because he's a part of the Giants story. I'm always going to be pro Giants over any player, but there's no question that there are some players that have came to this team that I've really have enjoyed rooting for and hope that they've done well. And one of them is Daniel. I've always wished that it would have went the way I wanted it to go. And at this given moment, it just hasn't.
No, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because, we've gone back and forth. And for me, I flip-flopped on Daniel Jones. I loved him when Sherman was here his rookie season. I thought he had some bright spots, and then he hurt me with Garrett. And then Brian Dable gets hit. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid again. But I'll tell you right now, I absolutely hate Daniel Jones, but I root for him every game day. Every game day, I'm sitting there rooting my butt off for Daniel Jones, but Monday through Saturday, I can't stand the man. That's just what it is right now. That's where I'm at. But at the end of the day, for me, same thing. I'm always going to be Giants first. One thing I used to like to say too, especially when it came to Saquon Barkley, I've been a New York Giants fan longer than Saquon Barkley has been alive. Alive, and that goes for a lot of people. And so at the end of the day, for me, what's best for the Giants, I'm all for. Even if I'm wrong, because that's one thing I never give a damn about. I never give a damn about being wrong. I'm going to share my opinion. And then if I am wrong and proven wrong, I'm going to absolutely give it to you, let you know. I was absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. But for me, again, whatever happens tomorrow, if they announce Daniel Jones as a starter still, when we get to that Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, I'm going to be cheering for the New York Giants. I'm going to be cheering for Daniel Jones. I'll be talking mess the whole week, though. Because I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be happy if they run him back out there. But that's just me though.
I will say one thing I was wrong about, Dash, was I was part of a group that really thought that Saquon didn't have that much more left in the gas tank. And obviously he's got into a great situation and he's got a shit ton still left in the gas tank. Now I still question if they're going to be able to win a Super Bowl with him. But he has, from that standpoint, proven me wrong tremendously. And so, like, I'm with you. Like, you're going to – look, if you make content long enough, you're going to be right and wrong about things. Like, it's just going to happen. Like, there's no way – you can't be perfect all the damn time. Like, you're just going to be wrong about certain things. So, it is what it is.
I think for me about Saquon, I don't like the way how he handled that whole process.
Yeah.
Going on the podcast, getting tagged, turning down a contract. I mean, I get it if you felt that you were being disrespected. And then he started talking about his legacy. I'll be honest, I felt that we were lied to. I felt that he lied to us throughout the whole process. I mean, if it was about the money, just say it. Be real. Be honest. You might want to put this on the calendar, right? Dak handled his contract situation I believe, better than Saquon did, because Dak openly said, I could be playing for another team. And I'm not afraid of that. If he would have said that, I would have accepted that. Regardless of what team he would have went on, I'd have been still upset because he eventually went to the Eagles. But when you look at the contract that the Eagles gave him and what we were going to give him, okay, I mean, of course we could talk about a couple million short and guaranteed and bonus money. I mean, I know that's easy for us to say because I don't know about y'all, but I'll probably never see that kind of money. But the fact that he, basically spat in our face and told us it was raining.
He's dead to me.
But also, Sneaky, it's not always about what's going on inside your house. Sometimes it's about what's going on outside your house. So when you see a guy, when you're a player on the Giants and you see a guy like Saquon and Xavier McKinney, because it's not just one example, it's two examples. Yeah. When you see these guys flourishing and doing well, you start to question, wait a minute, why am I playing? Why I don't know if I can trust this regime, because they clearly can't keep talent with this roster. So, these players, they're looking at these other guys that are leaving and being successful, and they start to question on if these guys are really it for them. So, I feel like some of Saquon's success has actually hurt our team, those that were part of the roster. Now, obviously, the rookies, they didn't get to know Saquon, they knew who Saquon was through watching the Giants previously, but those that were on this team with Saquon, it has to have an effect on them to watch Saquon be successful. If the defensive guys, they see Xavier McKinney playing well, that has to have an effect on them, thinking about why did this regime not pay these guys to come back? Yeah.
And then to that point too, and then I do got to get out of here, fellas. But to that point, I want to say this. So what you're saying is absolutely right, and I think the biggest difference is at the end of the day, you got to win games. If the New York Giants were winning games and Tyrone Tracy was doing what he was doing, and Dexter Lawrence, and we're still leading the league in sacks and stuff like that, it doesn't hit as hard as it's hitting right now. But when you're not winning games, and these guys are turning around and seeing Saquon Barkley, like you say, be successful, not just successful. People, I saw today a graphic where they had Saquon Barkley as an MVP candidate. Not only is he winning, he's impacting the team so much that they think he's an MVP. And then those guys, those teammates, they're going to look at this, not the roster, they're going to look at the coaching staff, they're going to look at Joe Schoen, and then Hard Knocks absolutely did not help. Hindsight is 2020, right? Hindsight is 2020, and to me, I hope they don't lose the locker room. But it looks like it's going to be leaning that way. And to your point, if we sit here and 2 games are all the games we're going to win this year, there's no way all these guys come back. It's just impossible. And if we do, run off some wins, it's about how we win too. Yeah. Because if we were losing these games and but it was even more competitive, because we have been competitive. I'm not going to say that we haven't been competitive, but we've lost games in the most boneheaded ways imaginable. And that doesn't lead to confidence, to a vote of confidence, out unless your name is John Mara. You got a vote of confidence. But I don't think the fans that are watching these games have that same confidence that Mara is trying to show. Because I don't trust Brian Dable right now. I don't trust Joe Schoen. And you already know how I feel about Daniel Jones. So for me, if Brian Dable wants to save his job, to your point, Cop, the New York Giants got to win some games.
They got to win some games.
You got to win some games.
Absolutely. Well, I want to say, Dash, for you, man, it's been great to do a stream with you guys. Sneaky, it's been a long time since we done something together, man. I love getting a chance to do stuff with you, and I'm happy for any success you're having. And same with you, Dash. I've always wanted to do something with you, Dash. I've always been hunting you down, not for nothing bad. I've always personally enjoyed your stuff. But I appreciate TP putting this together, man. It's always great to talk about some Giants football with you guys and mix it up a little bit. And I'm nobody's more frustrated than I am right now, because I put a lot of chips on the table for Daniel, and it ain't working, and we're not having success. And I hate to see this chapter potentially ending, and I also hate that the team's not any good, you know, and it just kills me because shit, I don't know about y'all. Half my damn wardrobe's Giants, so I gotta wear this stuff out in public, and I look like a damn clown out here, you know.
Yeah, I'll feel
Going
you.
to these games, man. Every week.
I live in Dallas, so yeah, I'm wearing this stuff in Dallas.
So listen, I do want to go ahead, man, and close the show as we push 2 hours. I hope everybody just enjoyed this dope content, man. I can't thank these gentlemen enough for making time out of their busy schedule to be a part of this, man. Thank y'all truly. And we'll end it like this. I think we'll start from the bottom up. Any last closing words, and please let everyone know, man, where they could subscribe and get with you.
I know Jorge was trying to say something before you started to close things out.
Yeah. So your
first.
last piece. Yeah.
No, I was just saying that it's. I agree with Cop. Everybody here, you know, it's tough, man. You know, it's going to these games. I can tell you guys from my point of view, season ticket holder, every week, it's tough, man. It's tough because you get so like you talk yourself into saying this is the week it's gonna turn around. This is it. You wake up, you're playing your whole week behind this thing. You're giving the Giants this your hard-earned money, and then you go out there and you see that slop. It's tough, bro. But one thing's for certain with me, and shout out to my Section 330 crew, my 330 crew as well. We're going to be there, and we always root for the front of the jersey. And winning is all that matters to us. If Daniel Jones would have been the guy that making us wins, trust me, I would have been the first one to eat crow. I said that many times with TP over the summer. Like, I want to be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to win like anyone else. So it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. But I also, since we're closing, I just wanted to say I appreciate everybody on this panel. You know, me being on here, you know, it means a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously I'm not on y'all level, you know what I'm saying, of notoriety and all of that. But I watch all of you guys, Dash, Cop, you know, I told you since the TTC days, Sneaky, mad respect. TP, you know, you my bro, you know, and all that. And I appreciate being on this panel. And, you know, let's just hope it turns around. You know, it's a lost season. You know, we have to face our destiny and what's ahead. Not what we all planned, but it is what it is. And, you know, I just wanted to say thank you for having me on. And let's just hope for brighter days ahead. And for anyone out there, want to check out my channel, Born for Sports. The ad is BORN. Number 4, SPORTZ 75. I talk all sports, Knicks, Mets, Giants. As you can see, I'm a diehard Giant fan. Yankees, whatever you want to talk about, we do it all over there. And you're gonna like what you hear if you come stop by. So thank you for everybody for having me on this show.
Yes, sir. Giant salute, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, again, salute to TP. For putting this thing together, man. You reached out weeks ago and you said, let's throw something together. I said, I'm all for it. You told me everybody that was going to be on there. I said, I definitely got to sign up for this one for sure. For sure. Yeah. We got it. And listen, it started off a little rough, man. Whenever you start the conversation with Daniel Jones, some people, it's going to be some toes getting stepped on for sure. But nah, man, I appreciate it. And again, everybody, I tuned in. I remember the first time I saw Copizzle, man, I said, there's no way this is real. No way this is real.
I said the same thing.
And then the more I watched him, I said, oh, this is him. This is really him. And like, as soon as the game is over, and now I do post-game reactions, but before I was even on YouTube doing content, as soon as the game was over, and as soon as the game was over and we lost, I was tuning in for Copizzle. I was waiting because I know his emotions were going to be the same emotions that I have. And you never let me down with these reaction videos, man. So salute to you for that.
Thank you, man.
Sneaky's everywhere. He's in New York. He's at Arizona watching the Giants play. He's in Dallas. He's all over the place. Training camp, you know, everywhere. And I salute you for that because I know what you do on the back end. Father, you got your kids in sports, family man, doing all that stuff, and you make time to move around. TP, you too. I see you with your family, and you guys be moving around. I don't get a chance to move around as much as you guys, and I respect, you know, you guys hustle, and at the end of the day, you guys put out good content. TP, you on the way, bro. I already know you're on the way, bro.
Appreciate
Sneaky,
it, man.
you see my background, Sneaky? It's a mixture between you and Cop. Just like Cop used to say, Cop used to make fun of people saying it's not a green screen. This is not, and you know what? As soon as Cop made that comment, I said I'm dropping the green screen because I had a green screen for a while. I said I gotta put some real stuff up together.
You got, as a man, you gotta have a small set. Even it don't matter how big it is. You just gotta have at least a spot that people they come into your spot and they say, "Okay, I know who this person is."
I took it to heart, and then now you see it a lot too. Now a lot of other content creators are doing the same thing. They're putting out real backgrounds, and I'm gonna give you your flowers for that because you push for it. And then, again, you do it in a funny way, but I knew you meant it when you said it. So but outside of that, man, big fan of everybody here. One thing I do love about this community, when we're doing things the right way, we can come together without any issues, without any problems, without any beefs, and we can talk about what we want to talk about. Because again, me and Cop been going back and forth for like 2 weeks now.
Yeah, I'll be laughing at y'all on Twitter. I'll be laughing at y'all on Twitter.
But at the end of the day, we both know that at the end we're both New York Giants fans. This is not.
I know. Dash means well. I should say that. I know he means well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because even when we go back and forth, I'll hit you in the DMs. You know what I mean? Talk to you, in the DMs and stuff like that.
There's some guys I don't have respect for, but I have tons of respect for Dash. Tons of respect.
Yeah, but so and then to Jorge's point, not the season that I wanted, not what I expected. And then you know what? We do it every week. We're built for this. We've been through the struggle long enough. And when we get back to the mountaintop, because we're gonna get back there, it's gonna feel even better. We'll come back here and talk about it for sure. But we got 5 years. 2029 to keep the streak alive for every decade.
Yes.
Yeah,
2029 is somebody got to get in here and turn this thing around in the next 5 years for sure. But that's it, man. Appreciate everybody, man. You guys have a good one.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you, TP.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just want to say thank you, TP, for putting it together. Sneaky, always, like I said, great to talk to you again, man. And just hope you guys keep killing it and keep doing your thing.
Yeah,
thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
Man, TP, this was awesome, bro.
Man,
I felt I held back some because I didn't want to, take over. I mean, I had so much stuff to say, but it was good to kind of, Pizzle and Dash, and it was really good to get the family, the G fam together. And I want to thank you for doing this.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. I can't, well, again, we're not where we want to be. 2-8 is not ideal. We got 7 games left. Let's make something happen. So I'm hoping
before you leave, please make sure everyone knows about your coins before you.
Oh shoot! Oh yeah. So those I don't know, I do have a podcast. It's Make It Count, the Sneaky G podcast, Tuesday, Thursday nights, 8:00 Dallas, Texas time. Now my Venmo is Stefan11, and my Cash App is Sneaky G Man. $25. You get this coin, and you get to make it count because, like TP mentioned earlier today, I'm doing a campaign, and it's called Be the Giant. And what it is on Thanksgiving, the Saturday before Thanksgiving, I'm gonna pay for someone's groceries, and of course I'll put it on YouTube and whatnot. So it's been getting a good reaction, and I think there's some families out there that's going to be very thankful for the gesture. So thank you for bringing it up, and I am going to start pushing it more this week because this is the final week, and then after Thanksgiving, we got to look forward to Christmas, and maybe we can, get some funds together to where I can either do groceries or pay some layaways off at Walmart, or, for people's gifts that they don't even know that it's paid off.
Yeah.
It's always, with times like now, it's always good to be the better person. And it's not about being recognized. It's just doing what's right. So
that's dope, man.
That's just the bottom line. So
yeah, man. Hey, you the man. You know it, man. I appreciate you.
And so before I go,
yes, sir.
Let's go Giants.
Woo-hoo. Yeah.
Appreciate you, fam.
Thank you, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for rocking with me. Listen, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. I am on the road to 1,000 subscribers. 1,000 subscribers. I know I will get there, especially with your participation. Again, I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope that even if you wasn't here for the full stream and your time, whenever you need something to listen to, something to, just to feed off of, I hope you play this, and I hope you just enjoyed this whole thing, man. This is the New York Giant Lieutenant segment, and we'll be having more in the future. For all of my New York Giant content creators out there, please, keep your DMs and keep your messages and stuff open, because this is something where I would also like to add you guys on, and we could pick each other's brain and do this. Again, shout out to y'all, man. Y'all have definitely been killing it with the engagement. It is greatly appreciated. Y'all have no idea. And I do want to shout out Big Blue Crew. I am now in partnership with them gentlemen. I was on the stream with them earlier, did a full game live, play-by-play. If you are not subscribed to the Big Blue Crew, I need you to do that as well. This is all content that is just going to be a positive in your life, man, especially New York Giant content. I don't want you to miss any of it. So go ahead and subscribe, go ahead, like, and go ahead and comment. And I just want to give a giant salute to each and every one of you that has been tuned in. Until next time, peace.
A rock don't move from a pebble. We don't cruise with the devil. We don't lose, we don't settle. Hard as heavy metal, but as smooth as the trouble that take you to that level that we ball on. We stand tall on, but never fall on. You can call on, get up off the floor, strengthen up your core. The mind is never poor. We shine like the sun of prime. Call it Shedeur.